warning, the chain-sensitive material that may be unsettling to some audiences. The Pedantic Pedestrians are not responsible for any injuries or paranormal activity that may occur during the viewing of this program, including, and not limited to, whiplash, bipolar disorder, a sprained ankle, or demonic possession. Viewer discretion is advised.
Two Guns, do you want to, encourage people to suspect those? So funny, Chad.
When you see people laughing. Nah, like, pause it. What did he say? Whatever. It sounds like he said.
To the west, and you and everyone you know are dead. All of you. Because you can't survive it. It's not possible unless you're very, very lucky. And your kids die too.
Boom.
We're live?
Tim Pool is live.
Nope.
Okay.
Really?
Chad, did you?
Why,
No.
what am I doing watching Pedantic Pedestrian Podcast when Tim Pool is live?
No, he's live here. See, he's right there. He's
Well,
live
Chad,
on
did you
our
add everyone
show.
in the Discord?
Did you? Now that we're live, Shab,
Did
did you
you?
let everyone know that we're live?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Nope,
Go
I
into the
don't.
free
I don't like
Discord,
doing
see if
that.
you add everyone.
I never
You don't
done
like
that
doing
before. I've never done that
I
once
think
in my life.
you do that.
I've never done that.
Okay.
What's? Oh, that's his mic holder. I thought that was like a shotgun for a second.
Well, we're gonna
Pointed right at his fucking mouth.
Well, it looked like that was like the part that you grabbed that his hand's near, and then it's pointed downwards.
Oh.
I thought it was like a shotgun
Wait,
for a
what?
moment. Nothing, Gene. You're not smart enough to understand. Okay. All right.
But we're gonna do Tim Pool, then we're gonna do the trivia segment, viewer recommended segment, tier list, kittens and carnage.
What is up with
Yeah.
his guitar behind him? Why does the white part extend so far on the left
because
side?
I don't really watch much of it.
That's just how they look. What do you mean the white part?
The white part on the left side, it goes all the way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta
That's
say,
that's how they look. It's an
that's
electric guitar.
dorky as fuck. Like the musket in front of the sword.
Those are two things that
Dude, he's a
don't
pirate.
belong.
He's a pirate and a ninja.
Yeah, those are
Pirate
kind of
ninja.
two things that don't belong together. Like,
They have a lot. Haven't you seen any pirate film, Shab? Flintlock, like pistol and swords. They go with one
I don't have
another.
ninja swords.
Whatever. Well, let's
But,
see what he has to say. He's going to criticize
right.
social media and modern education for making our children dumb.
Yeah, I mean, the problem isn't just that the college kids are not street smart and don't have real world experience. It is also that there's just been a rapid decline of just the baseline level of knowledge. I mean, what a teacher could walk into and expect kids to already know. Like, okay, we're going to talk about the Federalist Papers. You know, they're written by this guy, Publius. And then right now you can't, people are like, what? Publius, what? You know, and then you've got to explain, well, there were these three guys and they came together and they decided to write. So what I'm getting at is that college has become
Okay,
remedial.
so right
College is
off the
basically
bat, Mr. Genius guy here, he's like, yeah, these kids are stupid because they don't know this like trivial information that they probably shouldn't even worry about. Like, what did he just name off, Gene?
Oh, I don't know what he named off there, but I can kind of agree because one of the things that is happening is people are going to college and then when they take the like placement exams, the placement tests, if you don't take your SATs, then it's like a large percentage of kids are graduating and they're taking like high school level algebra classes and they're paying for them at community colleges. So it's like they have to have that like algebra. Different counties and different states are different, but it's like kids will live in counties where they have to have like a geometry algebra 2 credit, and then they get, some even require a trig credit, but then they get into college, they take the exams and they don't even have like a high school level understanding of algebra. And it's the same thing. So that is something where kids, like on the standardized tests and stuff, their levels of literacy are below their grade level. And a lot of it is we keep pushing kids up to like further grades that I guess they shouldn't be in those grades because they don't perform at that level when it comes to math and literacy.
Yeah. way this
Like
guy
a ninth
earns my
grade.
respect is by bringing up like critical thinking skills and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think there needs to be some sort of
Encourage that all the time, like teaching epistemology in schools. But when you bring it up to people, it's like, hey, that's not already part of the system. So, nah, that's stupid. It's always been like history and chemistry and algebra and like English 101. It's always been that. So if you talk about teaching kids psychology and how the human brain works, or teaching kids like critical thinking, it's like, no, that's not part of the status quo.
But here's the issue. When I was a kid growing up, my family
fast is it sped up? Let's speed.
1.5, Shad.
Let's put it.
God, you're slow.
opened a coffee shop. So I'm between 9 and 11 years old. I am surrounded by no one but adults. On the weekends when I would work with so I'd be working the register, I'd be making coffee. I'm like 10. Some customers would complain, why is there a 10-year-old? But what do
Well, when I was a kid, if I went to some of the shops and stuff, the way things are today is that they'll turn you away if you don't have the proper like paperwork. If you don't have your ID and shit, they're not going to hire somebody who's below the legal age to get their work permit. It used to be that way, where like by the time you were in like pre-adolescence, if you're like 10, you could go to your local stores and they might hire you. But when I was a kid, it was just like, if you didn't have your social security number, your like ID and everything, they weren't going to hire you, and you had to be at least the like it's 14 in my state where you can get your work permit.
do I hear? I hear a 24-year-old guy being like, I can't stand these Republicans. Right now and they're saying stuff. And that's what I'm hearing as a kid. So what's happening is, as a child, I'm learning from adults. I'm learning how to be an adult from adults. What we've started doing with schools is we're having children learn how to be adults from other children. What's happening now, and one of the reasons I think schools
is going to elaborate on
are going down is not just the COVID lockdowns. It's that, why is it that kids don't know about the Federalist Papers? When I was a little kid, my parents would bring me to a movie or watch a TV show. I'm sitting on the couch with my dad. Star Trek: The Next Generation is on. The ideas that are being conveyed to me are adult concepts. Now kids are on social media where all their culture is from other children who don't know anything either.
I'd say before the internet, like it was common for kids to like girls to be on the phone, the landline. And that was usually a thing, hogging up the landline to talk to your friends and gossip with them all night.
Isn't there irony in what he just said, though? Because he is on social media saying this stuff, and it's supposed to be like wise words that you're supposed to listen to, but everything on social media is just stupid kids and their stupid kid ideas. Doesn't that make no sense?
One argument you could make for social media is the fact that kids might be spending too much time only interacting on a screen and not in person. But if social media wasn't a thing, the kids would just be in a group hanging out at the mall, and it would still be like that kind of like bandwagon peer dynamic where like you're listening to what the other kids are saying and so forth. And that's just that basic kind of like groupthink dynamic. It is just a basic facet of like human interaction. Like everyone's going to have their small like circle of friends, and you're going to like a lot of your like opinions and stuff are going to be molded from like whatever the popular opinion is in the group. That's always been a thing. So like him talking about how kids are only learning from other kids because of what kids post on social media. It's like, well, what if kids are watching or consuming media that isn't from their peers? I mean, it's different, like going back and forth in Facebook or Instagram, like having a series of like just texting like another kid back and forth. But it's like you can watch people like watch people like Tim Pool on social media, but you can also have kids watching those like I don't know, Vsauce or watching some pretty sophisticated stuff on YouTube or Facebook or any of the social media platforms.
Yeah,
be watching us on social media.
So what's relevant to them is, oh, that dude threw a pie at that other guy. Whereas when I was growing up, it was, I went and saw that movie with Mel Gibson, and he was fighting the American Revolution.
So kids.
Oh, stop!
Watch.
No, stop it. When you were a kid,
people have always had really bad taste in movies. So it's like there's always been schlock in theaters, and I think he's talking about the 80s. The 80s, I'd say, was one of the worst decades when it came to the quality of films. That's something that people like ignore. Like I think Raging Bull was in the 80s. The Star Wars sequels were in the 80s, but there wasn't like stuff like the Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, like a lot of great like Pulp Fiction. A lot of Stanley Kubrick's classics came in the 90s, the 2000s. So that's something people ignore, that the 80s was kind of like a mediocre decade when it came to like notable, I guess, like groundbreaking, innovative films. But it's like
dude. Pumpkinhead came out in the 80s, dude.
But it's also
Evil
like
Dead.
We're in a golden age of like television, and when it comes, like when I grew up, Avatar: The Last Airbender, that was far more sophisticated than Yogi Bear or the Smurfs. I had like Batman the Animated Series, so that's what I had being a kid growing up in the 2000s. But today, when it comes to like Stranger Things and everything, you have like currently the Fall of the House of Usher. Like I've been like there's Breaking Bad. We're in a golden age of like television, so I'd say like the binge culture. There's plenty of people where it's like they consume pretty I'd say shows that are well written, that have dynamic characters, where there's a lot of like intricate themes. So he's acting like good movies that have more complex themes that require you to think is exclusive to like the 80s, the decade he grew up in. Now that's all gone.
I don't think that was the point he made there, though, or he was trying to make. He's saying more like kids are. I think his point he's trying to make is kids care.
The media is coming from social media. It's not coming from media like.
His point is kids kids care more. Like kids back in my day, fart jokes and stuff. We didn't care about that kind of stuff. We cared about awesome, films with good stories and intellectual stuff. Nowadays, kids, all they care about is who smashed who in the face with a pie or who farted. He's trying to say like kids are were more mature when he was a kid.
When he was 10, the kind of movies that he asked his dad to take him to, like when they went to the theaters, were films like Dances with Wolves and so forth.
And it's not like he was stupid when he was a kid. It's not like he's stupid now that he's an adult. No, he was definitely just he was a real big intellectual at the age of fucking 11.
He wanted his father to take him to see Lawrence of Arabia.
Aren't the games different? I think the games. I'm not an 11-year-old boy, but all of the games they play, it seems to me there's a lot of attacks on social media, and I'm suspicious of them because every new like fun entertainment that's come along has been blamed for whether it's television or Hollywood or the hula hoop. So I'm a little suspicious of the attacks on social media, and the gaming stuff seems like even better than watching. Well, I don't know, Braveheart, because.
That's a good example with the video games. So when I was like a kid, it's like they acted like video games were this evil, satanic thing that was causing kids to commit school shootings, even though school shootings was really unique to the United States and not other developed countries where kids statistically play games just as much as American kids. So it's like kids in the Netherlands and Japan were playing video games as much as American kids, yet they didn't have school shootings. And then it's also like the likelihood of a kid committing a school shooting is still like astronomically like small and everything. So it's like when the overwhelming like 93% of millennials identify as gamers. So that was one thing. It was just people being idiots. It's like the science does confirm that once people are around the age of 25, they tend to be set in their ways. And then openness to experience is correlated with intelligence. So the average person, once they're an adult, it's like, this stuff is new. I didn't grow up with it. Therefore, it's bad. So they're just going to go out of their way to find reasons to hate it. And then that's what happened with like the video game culture. It was just people going out of their way, like Fox News, CNN. They were pandering to their like age demographic, which were Gen Xers at the time, who just wanted any excuse they had to condemn video games. And now, like that millennials and stuff are older and Zoomers are older, it's like we just shame the older generation for it because it made them look like idiots. It's like conspiracy theory level nonsense that playing games altered a kid's brain chemistry and turned them into killers, even though violence amongst youth declined by over like 80% since the 90s.
There's the incentive, there are the rewards, there's the
Call of Duty
coordination.
right now, and I'm feeling pretty violent.
Well, to be fair, I always want to commit extreme acts of violence when I play video games,
And
or watch movies or anything.
see, at least of the
any kind of
11-year-old
media,
boys.
you're.
Yeah.
That's it, John. You're the mount. Like you're exactly what the right wants you to hear right now. You know what I'm saying? You're like, dude. Anytime I get my hands on some left wing media, I just want to.
Yeah, Broadway plays. When I go and see Broadway plays or operas at the Mets, when I see Porgy and Bess, I just want to beat the shit out of people. Yeah.
I know they're not just watching I don't know, the Kardashians, nothing like that at all. It's the gaming stuff, and
Oh yeah, the Kardashians. That's what's good for the American fucking mind. Get the fuck out of here. What? They're not just watching the Kardashians. What?
Well, before I'd say the Sopranos and stuff, HBO came along and really made like your serialized kind of dramas.
Yeah, Sopranos is good, dude.
Yeah, and The Wire, like, so it wasn't until then that like serialized sort of like dramas were like common. And prior to that, it's like they had, what was it, like the A-Team and Magnum PI. They had like, which was garbage, and it was mostly sitcoms. It was shit like Full House and The Brady Bunch. So it's like, yeah, that's what we need to go back to, is this like things that aren't serialized at all, and it's just a bunch of hokey sort of like bullshit, the life of like people in picture frames. It's like television was fucking garbage. Like prior to the like 90s, I'm sorry. Television has like gradually improved significantly throughout the decades and everything. So that's one area where if somebody's going to be a nostalgia tard, it's like, you're just fucking wrong. You're a dumbass if you're going to claim that TV was better in the 80s than it is today.
I think that's probably better than school.
Oh, in a lot of ways, when I was growing up,
Did you just say the Kardashians is better than school?
I think that's what she said.
Yeah, that's pretty. That kind of shows that's what the Kardashians does to you. You lack any sort of education, like quality education filter. Watch too much Kardashians.
2 games that I played: Colonization, Sid Meier's Colonization, and Civilization. Colonization is it's a game where you choose England,
likes being a colonizer,
France, the Netherlands, or Spain. You then are dispatched to the New World in 1492 or whatever, and you have little boats.
Okay, so how much you wanted that he's going to talk about how games today are just too banal and everything compared to the games he played when he was a kid, because everyone was playing like these more complex strategy games. Like no one was playing just like shoot 'em ups and so forth, or games like Street Fighter or Castlevania. It was all like really sophisticated, like RTSs and like these turn-based strategy RPGs. That's what everyone was
Then you build
What's
colonies.
he talking about?
and
1492. What?
Talking about the game that he's talking about. He's explaining the game.
Oh, sorry.
Native Americans.
I want to play this now.
It is to this day. It's like 1993 or whatever. To this day, it's
She wants to be a colonizer.
still a really, really, really good game. If you choose Spain, you get a bonus attacking Native Americans. It's like very brutal. And then
What?
It seems like he likes the game for the wrong reasons.
Huh.
you recruit founding fathers, and
It's
so I'm
very
learning
brutal.
about.
Oh, you recruit founding fathers. If you recruited like notable historical figures from other nations,
Then it's
It would
intelligent.
be boring. But if you can recruit the U.S. founding fathers, like these historical like sort of figures of the greatest country in human history, then it's a great sort of product.
I'm 9 years old.
Wow.
I mean, even think about the old Monopoly. I mean, it was sort of an education to play that game. You
What about like Magic the Gathering and shit? I mean,
No, because they aren't into
Oh,
that.
and Monopoly, like, yeah, people didn't play Monopoly when I was a kid. It's still like a pretty like popular game that people play, and Scrabble and shit like that. I mean,
think to learn, the sort of
No,
motives
it's
of
only
capitalism. You build a
Gene,
hotel and you
it's only smart to recruit like the founding fathers. If you recruited a blue eyes white dragon, that's not intelligent. Okay, that's dumb.
well, that is pretty dumb. Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty stupid.
watch
Yeah,
some
well-
other guy who's trying to
Oh,
encroach on-
I was trying to name a magic card, and I did a wrong. Well, okay, fine.
Yeah,
Magic's
bad.
cool, and Yu-Gi-Oh's not.
Yeah, you're playing.
Yeah,
you're playing
but it's still
Walker.
strategy and everything. There's still like, and I'm sure Magic is probably more complicated than Yu-Gi-Oh, because Yu-Gi-Oh is meant for children. But
Yeah, big boy.
They're not going to be interested in that because it wasn't part of their childhood growing up or whatever. It's like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, everything's going downhill. Like, everything was better back in the day. War, genocide, people treating each other like shit. It's all completely novel the last couple decades.
Your neighborhood. The problem, I think, is not just that the kids don't want to be like their parents. The parents want to be like the kids.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. And so these massive consultations that parents have with young.
I think that depends. I know so many parents that they just go out of their way to hate anything that's new, that are like big giant Luddites. So like I don't know. I think what he's saying there is kind of the exception. People who actually want to like what their kids like.
Young kids to, where do you want to go to dinner? What play should we go to see? And so on. And so you've just got a complete inversion of the normal relationship of young people wanting to grow up and learn what it means to be an adult.
I wonder about this. When I was at Blink-182 just has been coming out with new music, and these guys are just entering their 50s, so they're very old, and they're
wow.
Yeah, pop punk music, and one of the lines in their song that came out last year is "I'm a punk rock."
They're talking about like. The title is Social Media and Modern Education is Making Our Children Dumb, but they've been talking about like rock bands and like video games and so forth. So they've talked about a lot of media. Most of the media they're talking about isn't even social media.
And then he makes these big assertions about school, but then he doesn't go into detail at all. Like, yeah, all they teach is rainbows and sunshine in school. Okay, whatever you want to say.
I'd say the quality of our education, at least when it comes to our public schools, is on a decline. But the big reason is that they're cramming more and more kids into one building, into one classroom. So I'd say that's the big component, is like 40 kids per teacher and then 1,000 kids in one like building. So that was something that has to do with like the public, like the transportation system to get kids to school. So once they had a system set up where they could like transport more kids to one location, then you did start to see a notable decline. So that does have a like pretty deleterious effect on like a kid, the quality of a kid or a kid's ability to learn.
Kid, and I'm like, bro, you're 50. I'm like, I'm a fan. I've been a fan of Blink-182 since I was a kid, but like, you're 50. You're not a punk rock kid. Yeah. But I get what he's saying. He's not necessarily saying he's a child. But when I was younger, when I was like 10, Blink-182, or how old was I? Like 12 or something. Enema of the State comes out, and I was learning all these songs on the guitar. But I very quickly realized when in one of their songs they say like, "Mom and Dad hold the key to instant slavery," and I'm like, these guys are in their mid-20s. I'm like 13. I'm like, why is this 25-year-old guy complaining about his mom? And that's when, at a very young age, I was like, they're pandering to me. They're lying. And I shouldn't say lying, but it's like, these are adults making content for children. I think a component of that, there's some I don't know why this is. There's a desire among many adults to, like you said, they want to be.
Wait, so adults should only make content that's for adults? So you're saying that media that's specifically geared and tailored towards kids is something that is just a product of like the last decade?
It's brand new.
Has he ever heard of like Walt Disney and Dr. Seuss? I'm pretty sure this the concept of children's books is nothing new. But I guess, yeah, this is something that we've just started to see now.
Like the kids. And I'm like, why? You should be like the adults, right? You know, there's a constant desire, I guess, because
they're afraid of aging, right? I mean, that's what it is.
I don't think that
I think it is. I think
no,
I think
this
it's
dumb
a complete
bitch?
fear of responsibility.
There's already enough dumb in the room.
You
didn't need to add any more.
Chat's just sexist.
Like they're going on about this bullshit. Like, how much do you think? How much smarter do you think are like the average person would be in America if we taught like critical thinking at a young age in school, like elementary school, middle school, critical thinking? Like, I'm pretty sure when you get to high school, there's some classes like that you've brought up or whatever. I didn't really go to high school.
Some elective.
I think that's a problem. Yeah, it's and it's elective too. It should be something that's part of the whatever, like either in elementary or middle school early on.
It's not just critical thinking. Like epistemology is pretty much the classes you take if you want to take classes in logic and reasoning. But metacognition, which is thinking about thinking, I think we should also teach people that as well, where it's like recognize your own sort of implicit biases and don't act on them. Be mindful of these patterns of human thought and behavior that people kind of just naturally like fall victim to, and find a way to like circumvent it or navigate around it. And it's just that's one thing. People kind of just naturally go about the self-serving bias, the in-group, out-group bias, confirmation bias. I don't like this, so I'm going to basically discount information. And even if people still are going to succumb to those biases and they don't benefit like much from being taught about it, the more people who are taught about it, the more people there are to call other people out on like that flawed, like those flawed modes of thinking.
Yeah, wrong. I think that they want to stay these adult children. I mean, the term adulting is sort of hilarious, but also gross, right?
You know, not having kids, there's nothing I love more than sitting around and giving people child rearing tips. But I really do not think
I
this
can't
is
wait for a
true.
parenting book.
I know lots of parents. I don't know anybody who. I'm sure there are bad parents out there. I am sure that is true, but there's bad.
I think there's a lot of bad parents out there. I mean, there's lots of parents that beat the shit out of their kids and abuse their kids. So
yeah, she says it as if it's like something we're wondering. Like, is there bad parents out there? I mean, I think there is. I mean, some people say no. It's like it's not even up for debate. It's just a fact. Like,
but when it comes to child abuse and stuff, there are a lot of idiots that have that kind of view. Like, why would a parent do that to their kid? It's like, are you saying it never happens? Like, your logic is that like nobody would do that because it's an evil thing, and it's just so you're saying child abuse doesn't exist. It's just that, like, this is an example of people who just don't know how to think.
At anything, there have always been bad parents.
But there's the trope of trying to be the cool mom, trying to be the cool dad. You know, I'm hip, I'm with it.
I don't think that's new.
Well,
Well, it's not.
it's let's look back.
Yeah, I mean, you had like parents that would try to live through their kids, and like you're kind of like not helicopter parents, but the parent, like, I knew like a lot of fathers that were like losers, that they'd coach the sports teams, they'd sign their kids up for all these different sports teams, and you could tell that they're just like living through their kid when it came to like sports and athletics and stuff. And there's always been like parents that do shit like that, where they go out of their way to like, I don't know, be the hit parent, and they're a little bit too engaged in their kids' like social life, trying to like give them an edge over the other kids.
Looks back at movies. Let's just say over the
get
past
a coffee? I'm sorry.
movies over the past 30 years.
A coffee machine over there.
Sorry.
Right
Oh,
now.
sure.
If we get, see if you can make it work.
We're still rolling, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
We're live.
look at the themes of movies over the past 3 decades. By and large, what you have is you've got some parents, and they're either wicked or they're uncool. They're one or the other. And there's a problem that has to be solved, but it's never.
I think that there's more films that are being released like each year or each decade compared to any decade prior. So I'd say that that's gross oversimplification. I'd say there's so many different genres, so many different like products being released that you can't narrow it down to that. I think that a lot of movies have characters that are bland and one-dimensional, but there's plenty of films where the characters are like well written and complex. So I don't think. And I mean, is he going to give examples to support what he's saying?
It's going to be some dad who solves it. If it's going to be an adult, it's going to be the.
I think Scabibi kind of brings up a point. He said, I thought people would benefit from being exposed to formal logic, but instead I just see people misusing fallacies. And yeah, I think that's a big problem too. Any of the people, like a lot of the people that will know these kind of like logical debate terms and stuff that maybe John knows more of them than me and stuff, but we'll use those kind of things. I'll see them being used wrong all the time by people because they don't actually understand the logic behind it. They're just trying to use it as a competing tool to win this. They're trying to win,
Well, then there's people who just, if you bring up a specific logical fallacy, then they just repeat the term in an obnoxious tone as if that magically invalidates it. And then what I do with people like that is I explain what the logical fallacy is, and then I just ask them, did what you just say right there, does it not fall within the parameters of what I just described? And then there's this awkward silence, because they know that if they don't answer it honestly, everyone in the audience is going to call bullshit on them. They'll look like an idiot. And then if they answer it honestly, they just admitted that they were being stupid when they were like just laughing, rolling their eyes, and repeating something, acting like that just magically makes it invalid. And then what happens is like they usually get mad and rage quit, because once you ask them that question, that puts them in a bottleneck where they can't say yes or no, because answering it honestly is them admitting that they're wrong. Not answering it honestly, they'll get called out by everyone there. So then they just kind of have their little fits, and then they're I'm the poopy butthead who thinks I know everything.
The mom. So that's the nod to feminism. Yeah. But normally it's going to be solved by the kid.
Right. I mean, I find this really interesting because there is a phase of development where, especially
if it's a story that's written for kids, it makes sense that kids relate more with kids. So the main character, like Harry Potter, like the Narnia, the Golden Compass, there's an endless supply of like children's books where the main protagonist is a child. Like, this is nothing new. And if the main protagonist of the story is a kid, then they're the one that's going to be resolving the conflict of the story. But I guess like stories where there's like a child protagonist, that's something that is just exclusive to the last decade.
For young men, they naturally start testing their dad, right? This is something that their neurobiology is wired to do. And so in some ways, it's natural that our coming of age stories would have, dads who eventually have to sort of step back and their son takes leadership or whatever it is, similar with women. But I think more than anything, no one wants to be the adult in any of these situations. And there's sort of a desire. Of course, parents want to relate to their kids and be cool. I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think ultimately,
a lot of stories where it's the kids that like they don't want to be an adult and stuff like that. A lot of the stories where the main characters are kids, it's stories where they deal with a lot of adversity and they have to grow up. Like they have to grow up a lot sooner than other kids. They a lot of time, like Avatar: Last Airbender. When I was a kid, it's a story about war. They have to like leave their home village and stuff, and they have to intervene in this global like conflict and deal with like the hardships of war and so forth. So a lot of it's like when you put kids in those kind of narratives, much of it is the coming of age narrative. It's that moment where they have to like reach that level of emotional maturity, and that's part of the like development of the character. So like again, they like all this shit they're saying, it's just so easy to come up with 1,000,001 counterexamples.
Part of it is this fear of responsibility, this desire to put off having to accept that things are hard. I mean, this is the same thing, the same justification people have for not having children at all. I just like my lifestyle.
Now, one book that
she's one of those people, Gene.
What?
She's one of the you everyone needs to have a child people. I'm pretty sure that's where she's going with this. Oh. She's one of those people that you shouldn't be able to just be like, yeah, she's mocking people like that right now. But go on, what were you saying?
Well, I'm saying what she's describing, like Afraid to Grow Up, Peter Pan. You ever read the book? It's actually kind of a depressing book.
I have never read the book.
Well, they really do kind of, like, the big theme is that he's in Neverland because he doesn't really want to grow up. And it really is, like, kind of depressing because they do kind of go inside his head, and you do see this boy who's afraid of adulthood. And that's the thing. The other kids, like Wendy and stuff, leave them because they realize that, you know what, you can't be a kid forever.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter Pan, that's a pretty old story. I believe it was published in like the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Wait,
so,
you're saying in the book, the kids that go to Netherland, they end up leaving him, and it's like a sad story at the end because they realize they need to grow up? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I never knew that was... Okay, that's interesting.
I believe they went back home in the most of the film adaptations.
Did they? Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, I guess.
The way it is, and I don't want to interact with children, and they're sticky, and they'll take up my time and resources. They are sticky, but they ultimately give you something that is worth having. I mean, your father, I think, ultimately, as much as we don't.
My thing is, if you want to have kids and you are responsible enough to take care of them, and you're in a position financially where you can take care of them, go ahead. But I don't think we need to be shaming people who don't want to have kids. Like, we're gonna reach, like, the world's population is gonna reach like 9 billion. And a good thing is the numbers are gonna start going to go down, because in developed countries, people tend to just naturally have less kids when they don't need to be having kids. But that's the thing. If we make it so, like, yeah, everyone's supposed to have like multiple fucking children, it definitely isn't going to help with overpopulation.
Yeah.
Want to sorry, Anne's leaving us.
I'm sure they'll be able to I'm sure they'll be able to explain logically and reasonably why that's a problem. People not having children. I'm sure they'll be able to explain that, right, Gene? I'm sure they'll go into detail on this, of course, about it too. Every time they make some big assertion like that or whatever, they're gonna definitely go into great detail about it, not just assert it and go on. Like, yeah, we're right. On to the next thing.
We don't want to just, no one wants to grow up and have to do hard things. I think the hard things are what make life worth living. And I think this is this infantilization of American culture that's makes
your
it so
own subjective opinion about your life. I could say music makes life worth living, so why aren't you making music? Why are you doing a podcast and not making music? Like, how do you go about determining that that's the way people need to live their lives? Why shouldn't you live your life the way I think you should live your life? Why not?
There's speaking of philosophy, like absurdism, Albert Camus, it's a variation of like nihilism or existentialism, where we're all going to die eventually, so live life in the moment, enjoy life.
Yeah, and it's my fucking life. It's my life. Why is stupid bitch trying to tell me what I need to do with my life? That's silly. Why like, it's just as silly as me going live and being like, yeah, everyone should skateboard or something. Like, just it's like there's no connection between, like, there's no sort of logic or reasoning I can explain for it. It's just I feel
everyone needs to live the same kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. Like cooking. I really like cooking. Everyone should cook. Nobody should not, be into cooking. Like, no, how about you be you and let other people be them? Crazy idea.
Talk about how people don't want to grow up and so forth. But one of the issues, like, with the, like, housing, like, market, like, crisis and the student loan debt crisis and everything, it's becoming a lot more difficult and a lot less obtainable to live on your own and work a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week, where you're able to provide for yourself, than in previous decades. So the dollar, it goes doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. It used to be where you could work any sort of like entry-level job and you'd be able to easily like afford and pay for school. And it was something where pretty much anybody of any like job could afford a home. And now it's like minimum wage galore when it comes to so many different trades and occupations out there. And it's harder than ever. Like millennials, Zoomers have to like fight, or they have to fight a much more uphill battle when it comes to living independently. So they're like talking about how like they don't want to like work hard or whatever. It's like they have it harder than like the older generations have.
Can't tell you how many women I knew who are like, I'm going to get my master's because I'm not ready to get a job and be an adult. So they spend another year dependent on their parents if their parents can't afford it, or going into massive amounts of debt that they don't know how they're going to pay off. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
I mean, it depends on what they're going to get their master's in. I mean, there's a good example where when it comes to higher education, it's a case-by-case basis, and some degrees are more valuable than others. But then you gotta blame the older generations. What's that?
Bill Hicks came through with a $5 tip. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Thank you, Bill Hicks.
More people need to be like Bill Hicks. What did he say?
Didn't say nothing. He just loves us, and he wants us to know with a $5 tip. Such a sweetie
Bill
pie.
Hicks is better than everyone else here.
How you guys doing, Dirt and Danny?
Yeah, you don't really seem to have much to add.
I think we're just talking too much. I mean, for one, you kind of give me a hard, sometimes it's hard for me to get a word in, then they're probably sitting over there. They're not talking at all. What a couple of dorks. Okay, on with illogical bullshit.
People go on to get their master's degrees because they're not willing to grow up.
See, yeah. And in this world, you look at that guy, you look at me, and the way I act, the way he acts and everything, most people would be like, yeah, that guy's an intelligent. That the other guy, oh, he's just a stoner guy. Whatever. He's, it's just like, as far as I'm concerned with the way he's talking here, it seems like I'm smarter than he is probably. But he has
glasses.
Yeah, he has glasses. His hair's receding more,
the agent point that you mentioned,
whatever.
I mean, Anne was sort of dismissive, but I think it's actually true, because I think that in a culture that values just youth and appearance as opposed to wisdom, because think about it, in the old days you got older, but who cared? Because the old guys ran the society, they ran all the corporations, they were the wise people.
You guys don't respect wisdom. Nothing that you've talked about has to do with wisdom. Has anything?
It's also, like, I don't really see that when it comes to, like, admiring youth and respecting youth in our society. Like, I don't really think that like, a lot of cultures, there is a lot of emphasis on, like, taking care, like, Confucianism and stuff. Like, a lot of the principles there is, like, taking care of your elders and really respecting and admiring your elders. In America, I think we don't really have that, but I don't think we, like, idolize the youth either. I don't really think there is that sort of like we're trying to always be young, or I think that what he's saying right here isn't really, like, valid whatsoever.
So who cares if you guys have some wrinkles when you're the boss of everything? But in a society where technology comes first to the young and the old people are, quote, out of it, in a society where there's a lot of emphasis on appearance, then you find this fact that as people get older.
I think that's always been a thing when it comes to emphasis on appearance. Like, people have always invested, like, in products and cosmetics and stuff to improve their appearance. So at least when it comes to the wealthy and the aristocrats who had time. Like, what's that, Chad?
Bill Hicks did put a message. I guess he wants me to show you the video I showed on my stream like yesterday or whatever. So after this, we'll cover that. I don't know if you ever saw what Nick Cannon said about white people years ago, but I played that on my stream and was going over that. It's interesting.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon.
Older, and this is especially women, they're going to fight to sort of hang on to their 30s and hang on to their 40s and so on. And so I think that is a reason why they defer to the sort of cultural superiority of the young, because
like, there's a difference between you want to hold on to, like, your age where you don't want to get older and die and succumb to senescence. You don't want to, like, your hair to go gray, your hair to fall out. You don't want to develop wrinkles. There's a difference between that and not wanting to grow mentally. There's two, like, there's a major, like, distinction between the two. Not wanting to age, like, physically versus not wanting to age mentally. They're two completely different things, and he doesn't really seem to be doing a good job, like, differentiating between the two.
Young are setting the tone, and even they accept it.
This is going to change because millennials are not having kids, because there's just substantially less children happening. I thought about why it is that
the Chinese are going to outbreed us.
These bands will pander to the younger generation. Why is it that a band in their 20s are going to write songs for children? There are more children. There's more money to be made. Adults, less likely to go out to shows and buy CDs. Children, more likely to get their parents to do it for them. Parents are now shifting their spending towards the kids. There are more kids than...
Adults less likely to go out to shows and... Like, what the fuck is he? I thought millennials just stay at home and don't go out at all, according to their logic. But, like, this another thing I think... It's just, like, they're not showing any statistics to support this. So if we look into, like, the sales statistics of, like, concert tickets and so forth, like, people going out to eat, people going to football games and so forth, like, does the data show that, like, once people get, like
that doesn't matter, Gene. All that matters is that he asserted this thing and he sounds confident. Okay? And then that's all that matters. You assert things and you sound confident while you're doing it. And you're right.
Well, apparently, like, adults don't spend money on, like, media and film and like music and so forth. It's only kids that do it.
You could go to a football game. There's like one person there. Okay? It's crazy.
I mean, maybe there's some truth to it, but the point is that, like, do they have any data that shows that, like, yeah, like, over the age of 30, there's this huge, like, notable decline in terms of, like, money people spend in like, these areas?
He's not going to show that.
No.
So let's say
data doesn't matter.
I'm going to give you flat arbitrary numbers. Let's say there are 100 Gen Xers. There should be 200 millennials, right? Or there should be like 150 is actually not good. So let's say, or at least 100, but typically it was 2.5 kids. So for every 100 adults, that's 50 couples.
And it was like Maggie, the baby, was supposed to represent the 0.2 of the 2.2 kids per household. So Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, they were supposed to be the 2.2, but we're below, I think, like 2 kids per household now. I think it's like 1.4 or something like that.
Couples, you're going to get, you'll have 150 kids. That means if you're making a CD, you will make more money selling it to the children who are going to get their parents to buy it for them than you would targeting the parents. There are less of them. But as millennials and Gen Z likely will have less and less kids, there's actually a chart that I was looking at showing the population growth, and it's rounding off. There's the baby boom, and then it's shrinking. This means that if you're putting on an event, let's say you're a promoter and you want to do a big music festival, what bands are you going to book? Are you going to book the band that's going to attract Gen Z and Gen Alpha? Why? There's less of them. If you go for the Gen X millennial bands.
So this is the
Gene, real quick, don't look at what Bill Hicks said that I erased his message, because I want you to watch the video before you see what he says.
Okay.
I want you to watch the next video.
What he's saying here is that, like, yeah, if they're going to like put on an event to make money, because there's less people in group A, they're like going to invest, like they're going to try to get money from group B, but there's the invisible hand. So where there's demand, there will be supply. So the point is that even if there's less people in one group to spend money on a product, there's still going to be investors who can still profit off of that smaller group. Maybe most of the investors will invest in the larger group, but the problem is there's still like a limited, like supply, limited demand. So even though there's a larger amount of demand in the larger group, once that's filled up, and you have like the whatever like corporations, whatever like businesses have like a monopoly in that area, there's going to be other people who can invest in these other areas where they can still make a lot of money. They might make a lot less money than the people investing in the more like popular product, but there's still these more niche areas where there's still plenty of people willing to spend money, where they can, like, if people want to spend money, like if there's money to be spent, there's going to be like a supply for it.
These are older, these are like Blink-182. They're nearing their 50s. You are going to sell more tickets than you would if you sold to the younger generation. So this is going to cause a shift, I think, in terms of popular culture, where it used to be, you know, the Abraham Simpson meme where he's talking to young Homer and he says, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. And now what it is scary to me, and it'll happen to you too. Not anymore, I don't think. That's why Blink-182, nearing, I think Mark is 50, I think Tom DeLonge is like 48, Travis is 47. They put out a new album, and it's already one of their biggest hits. So I think one of the songs they...
It's called Social Media and Modern Education is Making Our Children Dumb, but they've barely talked about the educational system at all, and they've barely even talked about social media. So it's just this is one like long tangential like video where they haven't really addressed the like what's in the title.
They put out was their 4th biggest hit of their careers. And Blink-182 peaked, we thought, in like 2003 when they put off Take Off Your Pants and Jacket with the name of their album. Very silly. And now they're back, and they're doing this nostalgia song called One More Time, where it's like showing old clips of them when they were very young or whatever. But because of the internet and because of the way the population trend is happening, it's not so much that they'll make more than they did then. It's that in terms of how many hits are they going to get, and are they going to be on the top of the charts? Yes, they put out a song and it reached, it was like a top 10, or I don't know, it was a number 1 single or whatever.
He's talked about like artists and bands more than he has social media.
Yeah, and what he sounds like, it sounds like from his point of view should be a good thing. So I don't get how this is like, if anything, he should be at least staying on the subject of like, yeah, kids these days, the dumb. It seems like that's kind of what he's talking about, but he's talking about something that seems like he should like. I don't know.
How many people are going to listen to music? And will this result in a gold record, a platinum record, and sales? There are not enough young people relative to how these... There's more young people today, of course. Older people die, but it's not at the degree of expansion as it used to be. I think this trend is going to change the way things develop culturally, and we're seeing it.
Then what's going to happen is it's like they're going to invest like their products in the older generations. So, but there's still going to be younger people, so you're just going to have less products for the younger generation because there's less of them. So it's just there's going to be more or less of a like supply in areas where there's more or less of a demand. I mean, this is like economics 101.
How much of the Blink-182, and you're more knowledgeable than I am, but how much of their current sort of revival is timed to Travis Barker's personal life, right? Like, so he's now married to Kardashian, so there's a whole group of people who probably may have listened to Blink-182, may not have, who are now interested in what he's doing.
We're
His
back
son
to the Kardashians
is
again.
dating one of the D'Amelio sisters, who is this huge TikTok star. They are able to sort of reemerge into
about
public
any
knowledge in a
of
way
this?
that I don't know that everyone.
I love how.
That's a good.
Don't you?
Put
You
it on
gotta
double speed now. Because...
tell me. Is that not ironic that they're like, yeah, social media making kids stupid. All they care about is like throwing pie in people's face and Kardashians and Kardashians and Kardashians and Kardashians and Kardashians. It's like, what? Are you talking about yourself and how you're a fucking idiot because of what you watch on social media? Is that what you're trying to say? That's what I'm getting from this.
They're they're talking about a bunch of random media that they enjoy, and then claiming that like it's these really like non sequitur kind of connections of like, yeah, there's going to be, I like this product, and then because there's less young people, they're going to like not supply, like they're not going to release things for young people, even though everything's being made for young people.
Look, Metric just put out their second album in like a year and a half. Metric's not nearly as big as Blink-182, but
Did they Khloe Kardashian?
not even
Exactly.
that. So I think it's also the internet has changed the way
Kardashian!
you can distribute both fan bases. Back in the day, record label's going to say, how many sales are we getting on this album? We're not getting that many. People are getting older. They're buying less music. They're listening to music they remember from their kids, and they're spending money on their kids. The kids want new music for a younger generation. So what happens is, you eventually say, I wonder what ever happened to that band. Well, yeah, it's the record label is not going to invest in a fading rock band. With the internet now, they're like, no, their fan base has never left.
Right.
And their fan base wants new music, and it's not even purchased anymore, it's streaming. So as long as you can keep the treadmill rolling, they'll keep producing more music. Now you have bands that are in their 50s producing music for the same demographic.
Yeah.
It's I think it's causing a hard cultural, like an ossification.
I just like the internet. The main
So is that a bad thing that like musicians and artists will have longtime fans and they can continue to like produce music indefinitely?
most important change I think the internet made to music was for the young kids out there. You used to have to buy an entire CD that sucked for one
good song.
Man, they ran that scam for a long time, and now.
So that's a good thing.
But there are tons of albums that it's just like, man, they had so many good songs on an album like that, and a lot of these songs didn't.
Yeah, they were called greatest hits.
No, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins.
You're right. Actually, as we got closer.
Okay, they've been taught like they should title this that like modern music is making kids dumb or something, because they haven't really talked about social media or modern education at all.
The internet, they got better.
Yeah, I mean, but just there are good bands and there are bad bands, and there were bad bands that had one good song and they'd sell you a whole album, but then there were good bands.
Well,
that
I think the other factor is that, and this is what technology has changed, is that a bad band could survive in a small town because there was nowhere else to go. So you have to listen to that music because that was the only music around. But the moment you can now tap into, and this applies by the way to lots of other things. You let's say pastors. Used to be 4 churches in the town, and they're all probably horrible, but that's okay. That's all you get.
But
now,
live stream
right now, exactly, you can listen to a pastor who's speaking to the whole country or perhaps the whole world.
It's a bad thing. Okay, that was just like words to the apex.
Play the video.
That is like a perfect example of like going on and talking for 15 minutes without actually saying anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent you a video. And Nick Cannon was a big superstar. He was a big star. Nick Cannon, he was big on Nickelodeon and stuff. He's always been really big. And then there's that rapping show that they make where people rap against each other. I can't remember the name of it, but it was big when we were kids. It was big, or maybe like teenagers or something like that. I don't know.
Is that Keen from Keenan and Kel?
No.
No.
All right. Maybe slow it down or turn it up.
Oh yeah. I put it at double speed because they just kept going on talking about like random things that had nothing to do with the title of the video.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, stop. Started from the top.
And I'm going to say this carefully. Compassion.
From the top.
Melanin comes with soul. That we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm going to say this carefully, are a little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal.
So the reason why people evolved and start to lose melanin, like when they start to migrate farther away from the equator, because there's less sunlight, and sunlight's how we like synthesize vitamin D. So we have less melanin, so we can absorb more sunlight, so we can get more vitamin D. So it's beneficial if you're living in colder climates, but not warmer climates. If you're living closer to the equator, where there's a lot more sunlight, you have darker skin, the melanin protects you from the sun's rays, and you're less likely to get cancer. So, but it's harder to like absorb the sun's rays to get vitamin D. So it's advantageous in hotter environments, but it's a disadvantage in colder environments. So it's just like what's the they have a deficiency, so that's why they're and what's the deficiency?
Rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have, but we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. They had, because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough torrential. So
they had to be. So what do you mean by barbaric? Do you mean like being like warmongers and stuff? Because I'm fairly certain war is pretty common in every fucking continental region on the fucking planet. It's like hate to break it to you, plenty of wars in Africa, plenty of wars in Asia, in the Middle East, and in the Americas. So this isn't something that's unique to like people of European ancestry.
Environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are.
All humans are fucking animals.
So does this remind you of anything?
Yeah, or like our buddy, the Uber driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Firmament Earth conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I think this is who he listens to. I think he. It sounds too. It sounds too kind of on point with what he was saying. I have a feeling Nick Cannon is someone he looks up to, and he watches this kind of stuff.
Wait, how far do we get into this? Because Danny hasn't heard this yet, and we just tuned back in. We were having.
It's a short clip, so we could play it again real quick.
Yeah, let Danny hear this.
Melanin comes with soul. That we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less, and where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way.
Trying to be delicate.
Back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have, but we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had
I like
to
that,
be
the
barbaric.
melanated people.
Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages.
Yeah, he's a piece of he's a piece of dog shit.
Do you think he's racist?
He is racist, and
well, only white people can be racist.
He's part of the problem because he goes and does these shows
Chad,
like
you're
that.
a white male, you don't know what you're talking about.
And the name of his show is called Cannon's Class. Like he's teaching you. Yeah.
I mean, just so you know, white people are a little bit
mentor.
And then
look, it's a shame because look, we live in a society where like I feel strange criticizing a black person's racism because, well, they come from a different background and they don't experience, I don't know what it's like.
Canyon sucks ass.
Yeah, fuck Nick Canyon, dude.
Nick Canyon.
You can suck an ass and die.
Don't like melanated people, Danny.
You're mad you ain't got that melanin, lady.
Been deteriorated from your lack of sunlight.
Nick Canyon sucks ass. He literally has 20 baby mamas and you're defending him? Get the fuck out of here.
I don't even know who the fuck he is.
He has 20 baby mamas.
Well, Tim Pool would probably like him because he's pumping out the units.
Yeah.
Dude, he be pumping out those babies and he's nasty and I hate him.
Look, Danny's all full of hate. Oh, is Crow here?
Yeah. The Crow.
What did I come into?
She was being
about
racist.
The melanated people, and and how they're less animal than white people are, than the non-melanated
And
people.
Nick Canyon be pumping out the babies, and he's nasty, and I hate him.
Here, Dirt. Here's something I think you'd like. So, horror movie tier list.
Nope, Dirt doesn't like this. He's mad.
Now, I'm not a big fan of horror movies, but
Ooh, Danny, wait, we're about to do a tier list on horror movies. Danny loves horror movies.
I'm gonna put The Descent up there, and Mother. This was a really good movie. So, what's that? I'd say.
Wait. Can you wait a second? We're gonna maximize it so we can see it real quick.
Danny's invested.
Take your time.
All right, we will.
What about
All right,
Saul?
John, I'm untangling my headphones now, and I've got to unwrap them.
Yeah, so don't put any fucking movies in the shit.
Wait, John.
Chill out.
Why you plug your headphones into my microphone?
I didn't fucking plug those in.
I didn't do that.
I don't
What
fucking
the fuck,
use those.
Danny?
Shab, have you ever seen
I
any
use-
Saul films?
Mm-hmm.
I use my own fucking headphones.
Which ones have you seen?
You
don't know?
I've seen a
Did you see
couple.
the first one, the second one.
I don't know.
Yeah, Shab just watched like Saul 4 or something. You watched one of the shitty ones, like
Me and Danny watched the newest. It was called Spiral. Actually, so that's not the newest. There was like Saw 10. Me and Danny didn't see that, but that had
Saw
mixed
X.
reviews. Saw next. Hold up. Give me.
Saw movie.
I'm gonna count down on a 3, 2. Wait. Where's your
1.
display? Wait. Wait. 3, 2. Wait. 1. I sound better now? Is that crazy? How's that sound? What's with that? How does that happen?
It's science.
technology.
Saw's okay. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
it's mid-tier because there's so much garbage. Once you have 10 movies, you jump the shark.
Well,
So-
I think they all suck except the first one, and the first one's just okay.
Wait. Which one is Dr. Phil on?
Dr. Phil was on Scary Movie 4.
Oh, that's not even Saw. That's not even fucking
Oh, he was
Saw.
in the Saw.
That's so sad.
Was he in that movie, or?
I literally can't name you a fucking Saw movie for real. It's
It
scary.
was Saw
movie.
2 when they really played under that fucking freak with the pig mask. That was insane, bro. But yeah, I don't remember him clearly. It's a mid-tier, middling. Wait, I see the thing. Go back down, straight down.
Oh, yep.
Put it up. You know what's up. Masterpiece. Kurt Russell sold the fucking show. Whatever.
I'd say Saul's just gore porn. It's just being
Yeah.
bros for the sake of being
I mean,
bros. Oh,
it's-
the Scream
At
film. There's
best.
the first Scream. This one.
How do you feel about Scream, Danny? Wait, this is the perfect time, John, just to tie it back to reality politics. You know what's up, John?
What's
One of the stars of the new Scream movies have been fired from their position for making a pro-Palestinian stance. So they are no longer associated with the Scream films because, well, they defended Palestine being genocided. And guess what, John? The director of the film
According
said...
to Ben Shapiro, like what's
God.
going on is people are just persecuting like the
God.
Jewish people and stuff. It's
Oh
been-
my God,
Well, what?
dude.
The last stream we did, he showed.
According to Ben Shapiro, is this the
it
PPP according to Ben Shapiro, John?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Well,
now.
yeah, he showed us a bunch of selective footage and examples of people like Israeli protesters being harassed and harangued by other people. So,
Well, anyways, one of the co-stars of the Scream movie were fired because the Scream franchise, because they've been making new films recently. They were fired from their position for making a pro-Palestinian stance on, was it Twitter? Was it something like that? And
Instagram.
then Instagram. And then then the main star also quit because they aren't going to abide by the silencing of genocide. So honestly, at that point, just put it on F. Fuck Scream. I'm over it. Who cares?
I can't remember which Scream it was, but the one that Matthew Lillard's in, that's my favorite Scream movie.
Is that the first Scream? Is that Scream 2? I think it's the first Scream. Matthew Lillard is in the first Scream. That's actually a good fucking movie. But this goes to the problem with these horror movies. Once you get past 5 sequels, it's done. It's over.
The art from the producers.
Whatever. The director said, "Oh yeah, I get it. She got fired. Shit happens. Okay, I didn't make the decision." Like whatever, dude.
He plays in the 1996 Scream.
# free Palestine.
Well,
I
thought the Scream had some quite a bit of charm, and I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, the first Scream is a really good movie.
Oh, he's in Scream 3 too.
Yeah, I liked all the Screams.
The first Scream is a really good movie. Have you seen the newest ones, John?
Dude, anything Matthew Lillard's in is amazing.
Scream 4, and
yeah,
that was when I was like in high school, and that was good.
You should see 5, and this is a 6 now. I don't know.
Yeah,
how about you pull The Shining up there, bitch?
What's up with The Shining, dude? Where's The Shining at?
It's at the bottom.
It's right. Go down.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, just put it at the top.
Put it at the top.
Here, I'm gonna put Mother tier below.
There you go. It's not quite The Shining, is it, John?
Yeah.
The Purge, dude. Just put The Purge on so bad. The
Exorcist.
Which Purge?
Masterpiece.
Where's
The Purge? Oh yeah, Purge's terrible.
Wait, which one is it?
It's all of them. I mean, I guess the first one's okay.
The first Purge is good.
No, it's not. I actually saw the first Purge. That movie was terrible.
Actually, you fucking suck. Because I like the first Purge.
The first Purge is okay.
They were like in the house the entire time, and it's like
it makes it. It's good because it's like what would happen to you, John? If you were in the fucking Purge, John, would you be roaming around the fucking streets looking what's going on? No, you'd be hunkering the fuck down.
Yeah, but that's what's more interesting. So I don't.
Yeah, and they expanded on that in the other movies, and it turned out to be shit.
Yeah, you dumb bitch. Fuck you, Gene.
It was a terrible movie.
Okay, all right, fine.
Drunk and yell at Gene.
What about Get Out?
Oh, have you seen Get Out, John? Have you seen Get Out?
Remind me of what
the fuck was that? Oh my god.
Danny spilled something.
God damn it, Danny.
Oh, Zombieland. I'm gonna put that at good.
You're so problematic.
Where's Get Out? Oh, Get Out was that was it? No, I'm thinking of Us. Where is it? Oh, here's the other Purge film.
Get Out, the one
Very
with
bad.
What's her name? Lopez.
Yeah, Conjuring. I thought
is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, so many people hyped up The Conjuring. I thought it was pretty bad. The Hills Have Eyes. I've never seen it.
Oh, that's really good. That's actually, I think that one's actually the remake. Yep, that's the remake.
I think I've seen that. Is that where there's all those weird ass fuckers and they're like capturing people, like there's women to impregnate them?
Yeah, it's a bunch of inbred mutants that live in the hills.
Yeah, and they're capturing them and then raping them and then impregnating them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, okay, I've seen it then, but it was a long time ago I saw it.
Well, Danny, what do you think?
They don't think much, Gene. They're probably cleaning up Danny's mess.
Wait, there's like 2 Zombielands. Which one's the... I haven't seen the sequel, so... Which one's the sequel?
I'm guessing the one on the left is the newer one, I would assume.
Yeah, I do recognize that, like, box art. Happy Death Day, haven't seen. The Blair Witch Project, which was shot in Maryland, Baltimore. I'd say it's just good. It's good for what it is. Have you ever seen it?
Seen what?
Blair Witch Project.
I
It
don't
started
so.
the
I don't think
found
so.
footage film craze and like horror movies and everything.
I don't
so
think
it's
I've
supposed
seen
to be. Yeah, it's a mockumentary. It's supposed to be shot like they went into the woods to do a documentary, but then they got like captured or killed by a witch, and you never actually see the witch. So
good line.
And they actually marketed it as like a genuine film. Like they claimed that it really happened where they got lost in the woods, which like after you watch the movie, you know that that's not true. What about Alien? Say, is this Aliens or Alien? Oh, I put that out there, masterpiece. Sleepy Hollow, Johnny Depp. That was like a meh kind of film. Silent Hill. I haven't seen them. I guess I'm just gonna put the ones I haven't seen and haven't seen, unless somebody else wants to give their input. Haven't seen Sinister. Haven't seen this. Cabin in the Woods, I'd say was good. Get Out, haven't seen. Halloween, I think's bad. I didn't want to see any other Halloweens after I watched it. I'm like, yeah, that was garbage. Haven't seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You haven't seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? John, Shab, have you seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I don't know.
John, what?
Are you tripping over all your like beer cans and shit?
There's just one beer can down here that's rattling around.
How many bottles?
No bottles, just one can. John, you've really never seen the Texas Chainsaw.
Where
it's
is
at least it's good. It's good.
So
Danny, I'll just let me update the situation. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. What? Danny spilled the moonshine.
Alright, I fucking spilled sticky
You're
moonshine
drinking
on myself,
moonshine?
and I'm gonna kill myself. What about it?
Why are you drinking moonshine?
Do we need to put Danny down? Take her to the vet tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and you're asking why I'm drinking moonshine, John? I have to deal with my fucking family, John. Do you have any idea what the fuck it is like to deal with your family, John? I bet not.
Yeah, I do.
I bet you wish you had some fucking moonshine. Huh, John?
No, I just don't show up.
Oh well, that's
I use
just
that
you and I,
option.
John. I show up. I didn't even respond to you, John. You asked me if I'm showing up tonight, and I didn't even respond because you better know, John, I'm showing up. That's just my character, John. If I can show up, I'm gonna show up.
Now, have you seen Us?
Yeah, it's man. I'll
It's
say
good.
It's terrible. No, I thought
Fuck off.
at the
Good and
end.
good.
How did a bunch of clones armed with nothing but scissors take over
How
the
do you say,
entire continental
Get the
U.S.?
fuck out of here. It's good. Good. Put it in good.
No, it's. I thought it was really fucking bad. How did they get plumbing and electricity in their little clone underground city? How did they survive on nothing but rabbits? There's so many plot contrivances that just don't add up. And literally, like the whole point is, it's like all these clones from this government facility just live underground, and they show that like the government doesn't monitor them at all or whatever. They just let them be. But then they've decided to invade the surface, and they're literally just armed with scissors. And it's just, the U.S. military National Guard was taken down by a bunch of,
I could believe it.
Yeah, I mean, they were really close to taking down the entire U.S. military in the January 6th riot.
Yeah.
What is it?
You caused me and Danny to fight over the state of Us, so you can go ahead and put the new It movie. It's so bad.
Well, wait, there's two of them, so I'd say part one was meh. Which one's the?
I never saw part two, so yeah.
Part two I heard is bad. I didn't watch it, so I guess I'll just put it. Haven't seen. What about Halloween 2? Haven't seen it, but I thought the first Halloween film was bad. Saw. I'm just gonna put that in trash, garbage. You're Next. Haven't seen. Insidious. Haven't seen any of these.
They're just like The Conjuring. They're bad. I don't like them.
Oh, you've seen them? Okay, I'll put them bad. What's the other one? Then there's The Nun.
The Nun?
That is fucking stupid.
Nun's
I'm
pretty
gonna put
scary.
it in. It's this one of those films I am gonna judge on the cover. It's bad.
So The Nun, The Conjuring, and the Insidious films all take place in like the same universe.
Okay, so they're all shit. It Follows. This is another movie that people hyped up and talked about. Like, God,
I liked it. I liked it.
I thought it was shit.
Why?
I thought all the characters were bland and one-dimensional, and
Yeah, because they just wanted to fuck John.
Yeah, and I thought their strategies and stuff when it came to taking care of like the entity or whatever, it's just like what was it? They had a swimming pool and they just put like a bunch of. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, it possesses somebody and that person tries to kill them after they fuck that person. But it's like, okay, it doesn't seem like they have any special abilities or strengths. So couldn't you just subdue them in the same way? Like you have like 4 or 5 people versus this one person.
Bro, it's a fucking entity. It's a fucking entity. They can't just restrain it, no, because it's stronger than you, because it's not a fucking human.
Yeah, Gene.
They didn't demonstrate at all that it was stronger than any of the people in the movie.
Oh yeah, when they lifted people by their throats, there was no indication of the entity's strength, John.
Well, I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember thinking it was really stupid, and I thought all the characters were really bland and unlikable.
All right, John.
The Pet Cemetery. I'm guessing it's the remake. Haven't seen it.
It was all right. It was okay, John. You know, I'd even put it at meh.
Meh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd put the first Pet Cemetery at meh.
Yeah, me too.
My favorite scene in the first Pet Cemetery films when like the wife and kids are out of town and he gets in the bathtub. He's just like relaxing. He puts the hot rag on his face, and then the cat Church just drops a dead rat or mouse in the tub.
Yeah.
Turns into an evil little shit after getting buried.
The new one's good. They kind of flip it on its head a little bit. It's interesting, but yeah, it's meh. Was that The Witch, John? Just might as well go ahead and put. Have you seen The Witch?
I haven't seen. Well, this is Annabelle.
I haven't seen the Annabelle movies. Have you?
No.
They're fucking trash as well.
Okay, put them in that. All of these horror films where it's like I haven't even seen of them. Some I haven't even heard of, and they have like several sequels.
Well, that's the thing, John. That's why you don't like horror movies, because honestly, good horror movies don't get made that often. It's a genre that's prime for schlock. But if you let me just give you like 3 horror movies to sit down and watch, you'll be like, okay, that was interesting.
Have you seen Talk to Me?
Talk to Me is good. That's the new one.
Where's Talk to Me?
It's not on here.
It's not on here, but it's so good. We went to see that in theaters. It was so good.
Final Destination. Where would you put that?
I haven't seen the Final Destination.
I've seen a few of them.
I would put the first Final Destination up a little bit, just because that's like.
Which is the one where the blonde bitches died in the tanning bed, and when you bought the DVD, you could decide who lived and died. I think that was the Final Destination 3D.
Where's the first one? Here's like the first 4.
I think that's the first one you have there with the cloud and the skull, but I can't see the title.
No, there's a 4 right there.
Then the one left to that.
There's a 5.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I have no idea.
And then there's
look at all those paranormal movies.
Dude, the Paranormal Activities, dude.
Those were trash. Yeah,
they're found footage films. I was like talking about the Blair Witch, which is like
the Blair Witch was good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's where it should be. Is that good?
And the thing is, like, people complained about the Blair Witch how they didn't have a tripod, but that's the whole point. Is that they're lost in the woods and stuff. They're supposed to be like, oh shit, oh.
Is meh below good?
Yeah.
Well, you need to put Grave Encounters, that green one right there. Put it at meh, because it was almost good. It was. I watched it on Netflix.
Green one. There's several green ones. Oh
no, that's the green one, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn how colors work, you idiot.
Where's Where's The Witch?
Dude, The Witch is a fucking masterpiece, John. If you haven't seen it,
The Witch is good.
So
The
you're
Witch is a
saying
masterpiece.
it should be up there with The Descent and The Thing and The Shining.
Oh, you know.
I'd say very good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We
Is
posed
that Midsummer?
Midsommar? Where's that at, John?
Go down, go down. First row, all the way to the right.
One to the left. Yep, that's Midsummer. I almost want to call that one masterpiece, but it
Masterpiece.
I would say very good for that one.
No. Masterpiece. Shut the fuck up, Dirt.
You agree?
Dirt,
I
shut
said
up.
The Witch was a masterpiece. You didn't agree with that, Danny.
Well, it's masterpiece. Shut the fuck up.
It's a really good one. It's a really good one.
Do
Masterpiece.
you think it compares to The Shining or
You know,
The Descent?
so look, I'll tell you, the Midsummer deals with a lot of different topics in a strange way.
It's so good. Put it masterpiece.
It's pretty good.
Or I'm gonna off myself.
Oh my god.
Damn,
Oh my
damn.
God.
No, Danny. Don't do it. Too much moonshine. Yeah, Danny shouldn't consume alcohol.
Don't
from glass
breathe.
containers.
Have you seen Don't Breathe, John?
Is it this one?
Yeah.
No.
So it's the scene. The whole premise of this is it's like four criminals who break into this blind guy's house.
Oh, it's crazy.
Shab, have you heard about this one?
Sounds kind of familiar, I feel like.
And they're not allowed to breathe.
Yeah. Well, the fucking blind guy. The blind,
because he's like a blind ninja, huh?
the blind guy is really fucked up. It turns out he's got a breeder kink or whatever, where he kidnaps people and tries to impregnate them.
You gotta watch it.
And he's got a whole fucking wall of semen jars, and the whole thing is he's blind, but he has these super senses because he's blind, and that empowers your other senses. So they're trying to don't breathe, because if you breathe, he'll hear you. But then they dump a whole fucking jar of cum on themselves.
Why is Us in so bad? Because that was a good movie.
I already explained it was.
Us
terrible.
is at least mad, bro.
No,
Move it up.
It was
What?
terrible.
I
sorry.
loved that movie.
It was.
I
full
loved
of,
that movie.
Full of plot holes. It was so contrived. I couldn't take it seriously.
You won't move John on this. Me and John have had this debate before.
I
baby.
love that movie. I love the actors in that
Danny,
movie.
how did they take over the surface armed with nothing but scissors?
And here's how I tell you, John. This is my answer, because it would be a lot easier. It's not like they just set them out all at once. For every person, there is another person that is coming to kill that person.
So how did they traverse across the entire country?
I mean,
and
They
they're
have
all wearing
subterranean networks, John. What do you think?
if they're coming to kill you, they're not gonna fucking warn you, and they think that oh, you're my wife. Oh,
it was highly
dead,
it was
bitch.
highly orchestrated, John. You just don't have you can't suspend your disbelief.
And
enough
the
to
main
see that.
story was that her and her little twin thing switched, and her son could tell the
How did
difference
they get
between
plumbing and
them.
electricity down there?
What?
And they're
Electricity?
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here!
How did they get all the utilities down there?
Nobody fucking cares about the electricity. Get
underground-
out of here!
They stole generators, John. Next question.
But it's just so hundreds of millions of people just started to emerge from this underground
Subterranean civilization.
They
John.
were
And
literally on the
then-
other side. Did you watch the fucking movie?
I
It
did.
really explained everything.
It did explain it. That's what I'm talking about. And they I think if
I
that many
understood
people
it.
started to abruptly migrate to the surface, it's hey, why are there millions of red jumpsuit
They
people?
did it sneakily, John.
Literally-
Under the cover of night, John. It was orchestrated, John. They planned it for probably decades, if not centuries, John.
Literally,
when they
it
try
showed
to
you
get
her
into
going.
the White House and stuff.
It literally showed you her going to the other side and how they were switched, and they had to pretend that they were on the other side, and when they weren't.
Yeah,
Fucking-
Gene.
Fucking
Idiot.
watch the movie again.
Fucking idiot.
Watch it again,
Yeah, John. Have you given it a rewatch, John, using the knowledge you have? And
dude. It was such a good movie.
idiot.
Yeah, you're
I still
stupid.
think I still think it's a stupid concept where they were able to take over the entire country armed with nothing but scissors.
I've never seen the Babadook. Have you seen the Babadook?
No,
I ain't seen it.
I seen a Saw movie that was over than Us, and that's fucking stupid.
You have a Saw movie better than Us? Oh, well, that's different. Like when it's in the same. Oh wait, Saw 2 is in Matt. All right, go ahead and move Us up to Matt. Like just do it for my sake, please. Yeah, thank you.
It's a good movie, you fucking bitches.
So nobody's seen the Babadook?
I've seen the Babadook.
Is it good? Because I heard the Babadook is good, but I've never seen
it. Okay, it's really good, but there's a scene where they're driving in the car and this little kid is just fucking screaming and the mom can't take it and she fucking turns around.
His head in.
Well, he's probably autistic or something, but he's like in the back seat screaming and the mom's driving. I don't know where they're going, but she fucking turns around and yells at him, just like screaming back at him. And oh my God, the kid's so fucking annoying. It's
always the autistic kids who are the annoying ones, the screaming.
From what I heard, the Babadook is about not being prepared to be a responsible parent and then fucking up and losing your child.
Get Out is good too.
Get Out is good. Where's Get Out?
Get Out is
it's on Haven't Seen. So go ahead and move Get Out up to good because that was actually a good movie.
But what about Babadook? Where's that?
Ask Crow because I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's good.
We watched Happy Death Day.
Well, we're talking about
Psycho.
Babadook.
I know, but it's in Haven't Seen. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say it before.
I haven't seen Psycho, John. How about that? I know it's a revered horror movie. I've never seen Psycho.
I'd say, like a lot of those Hitchcock films.
You've seen it?
Like Rear Window, Psycho, Birds. They're, I don't know. Like when it comes to the plot and stuff, they're pretty simple. Like when it comes to the cinematography, the technical elements, you can see why they're really revered. And they have the historical significance that they do, but I'd say it's very good. I wouldn't like Alfred Hitchcock. I wouldn't consider a lot of his films to be masterpieces.
So the Babadook. We're back to wait. Happy Death Day. We'll go back to that. Happy Death Day. It's in Haven't Seen. Me and Danny have seen. Wait, you haven't seen Zombieland? You motherfucker.
I think that's the sequel.
Wait, just let me.
Okay, wait. We saw Zombieland too. That one's.
Wait, let me see what's in Haven't Seen because I can't really see it from this point of view.
Yeah, I put Zombieland in good.
What is that?
Babadook, where's Babadook? You keep mentioning
the
that.
first one on the left, top left.
First.
What's that red one right there?
On the other one.
As above.
Oh, as above, so below.
No, we haven't seen that. I want to see it.
That one's decent. The previews for As Above, So Below, try to make it look good, but it was just kind of decent.
Well, we got a little horror movie box where we draw it.
It's in Haven't Seen, John.
And where?
It's the red one.
Okay. So where would you guys rank it?
Ask Crow. He's the one who's seen it. We haven't seen it, but we want to.
I'd probably, so bad.
I'd probably put it as meh.
It's not a book.
Said it's meh.
What about? Wait, is this more of the
Paranormal Activity? Yeah.
Fuck Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
The only time I liked that is when I went to a sleepover when I was literally fucking 12 years old.
Wait, you're not.
So Babadook. Now. Back to our original.
No, she turned 13 yesterday.
Gene. Fuck this movie.
So bad.
What? What is it?
The Descent 2. Like the original one, deserves a lot of praise for the lighting and just how they shot the film and those kind of confined corridors. The second one, you could tell was just a cash grab. They didn't give a fuck at all because it's they're in a middle of a cave or and everything, and then it looks like there's a giant stage light flashing on them.
Have you seen Terrifier?
No, which one's that?
It's not on this list. That's why I asked.
I haven't seen it.
There's Terrifier and there's Terrifier 2.
There's a lot of good horror movies that aren't on this list.
There's Terrifier 4.
No, there's just 2. That's why I was asking if you've seen it because it's not on this list.
Oh, here are the Purge sequels. I'm going to put them in really bad, even though I haven't seen them.
Yeah, there was one that was super I won't say MAGA, but teetering on it. Like it was Purge, it was the one we saw in theaters. You remember that? Where it was like, yeah, it's this Hispanic dude, but he's gonna prove that he can be a cowboy and hang out with the rednecks.
It's Purge Anarchy.
Anarchy, that's the one. Like that one had like really weird MAGA vibes to me.
The first two Purges I loved, but the rest were like, ugh, what do you do?
The first Purge, I hated. All the other ones, haven't seen. But Unfriended, that sounds like a funny title. But
I haven't seen it. It was a COVID era movie. It was a COVID horror movie
I've
where
seen
it's like
scenes from it, and it looks awful.
yeah, it was like you're in like a Zoom call. But
Yeah,
the whole
literally,
horror
you're in a
movie
Zoom
happens
call.
in a Zoom call.
And this
did you see it,
dude,
Crow?
this
seen
dude stuck
most
his
of it.
hand in a fucking blender on Zoom call, and everybody was like, "Ah! Oh my god!" All right, sorry, Crow. I'm sorry.
I didn't say I
that
liked
sounds like
it.
a very unnatural response, putting your hand in a blender, Danny.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! All right. I interrupted Crow. I'm sorry.
Crow, where
Did
would you put
see it?
I'd put it as so bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's what I got.
You seen it?
I've seen most of it.
That's how you know he stopped watching it, which means it's so bad.
Yeah.
What about these like wreck
wreck-
films?
Okay, the
I
wreck
haven't seen
films, they are found footage films, but instead of like Ghost or whatever, have you seen Quarantined? Or Quarantine?
Okay,
No.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the original that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what is it? Is it a Spanish movie like from Spain?
Yeah. Or it's
Are they,
Spanish.
like, Are
Okay,
they
so
zombies?
Okay, so the first, they're zombies. So the first one takes place in a hotel or whatever,
In
or
Spain.
like an apartment building, and apparently it was quarantined or whatever, or going to be quarantined. And this reporter shows up and kind of like breaks into the apartment place and to document everything. And then all of a sudden, people start turning and attacking each other. And towards the end, she finds herself alone in an attic, and
In an addict.
In an addict.
Hey, fucking tired here.
Addict spelling.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, okay. So it has.
That's all addict.
It's basically the same ending as Quarantine,
I haven't seen Quarantine.
and I think the
But,
second one's on a ship.
So where would you rank them? Meh, good.
As far as zombie movies go,
Hey, what? Oh.
So the first one, which one?
the first one I would probably put as good.
Second
What's
one.
the? Oh.
Second one, the second one I'd put as meh, and I haven't seen the third or fourth one. Is that
Okay,
there a third
yeah.
one?
God, every horror film has like a million sequels. The Conjuring 2, haven't seen.
Throw It Up There is so bad because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's the fucking Conjuring. It's Annabelle. It's Insidious. It's. There's like 4 different franchises that are all a part of the same fucking universe or attached to each other.
What about the VHS films?
Haven't seen them. Heard they're good.
I haven't seen them.
Haven't seen it.
There's like a
Have
rat
you
man.
seen them? Is there a black man?
A rat man.
Black man. Black man.
Wait, what's that one movie where they're on film and they're like running over kids with the lawnmower, and then like they're drowning people in the pool on film?
Is that Insidious? I don't know. Like literally, I don't know. That doesn't ring a
No.
bell. I stabbed in the dark.
There's like a whole bunch of films, and then like at the end of the movie, the dad watches the films, and like he's about to get killed by his own kid at the end of the movie.
So
I guess nobody fucking knows.
I haven't seen any of these movies that are left. So
The Babadook. Crow, what's up with the Babadook? Rate it right now.
Babadook, I would say.
So bad.
I'd say good.
Good?
Damn, nobody fucking knows what I'm talking about.
No. What's that one with the 2 on it? It's a sequel to something right there. The first next in line. Let's go down the line. What's that?
Oh, here. Says Death Day. Or
Happy Death Day 2?
I liked that one, but it's not as good as the first one.
Meh. I mean, meh.
I like
It's
those
like
movies.
Groundhog Day, but you're trying to not die. What was that next one? Cat Crapper. What?
It's what is it?
Crimson Peak?
That one, Crimson Peak. I thought that was gonna be scarier than it was.
Oh no, it was garbage. Yeah, it was like a weird Victorian kind of thing. I did watch that and it sucked. So yeah, bad. Put it in bad.
The Visit.
The Visit. That's where like you go to. Wait, is that when you like when you were gonna visit with your granddad and grandma, but then they walked around the house naked and had dementia?
Oh, and then they like did some fiddling.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I think you're right, Derek, because it turns out like the plot twist is they're escaped psychiatric patients.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Okay, so that's what it is. You go to visit your grandparents. Turns out they're fucking crazy, and then turns out it's not your grandparents. They're escaped psychiatric.
Is that when they're on like FaceTime with their mom and they're like, "Oh, we're visiting Grammy," and they put them on the screen, and her mom's like, "Oh my god, that is not Grandma."
I would put it as so bad.
Yeah.
Is that the movie?
I don't know.
So
I see A Quiet Place. How do you guys feel about A Quiet Place? You're telling me none of you have
Love
seen
it.
A Quiet Place?
Haven't seen
Love that movie.
You haven't seen it.
Well,
Where's the Quiet Place?
It's the red one. The big red, the very red one.
Quiet
I'd
Place
say that
is
one's
so
good.
Dude, I'd put it at good. Maybe not quite a masterpiece, though part of me wants to say it's that, but it's good.
It's so
What's it about?
It's like, so you're gonna hate this, John. There's some subterranean, unidentifiable creatures that emerge suddenly, but the thing is, they can like destroy you. They fucking like literally like it's like some kind of cryptid thing, and they're just murdering everybody.
They love the
Society's overthrown.
noise.
It's like a zombie apocalypse. But no, that's the thing is they're blind, but they're super reactive to noise. So like they can't see you, but if you take a step, they fucking hear you, bitch.
And that girl from
like
Hereditary's in it.
Yeah, you probably like A Quiet Place, John. It was a really good movie. I'd love to watch it with you. It was a really good movie.
What about the others?
I haven't seen it.
I have, and that's really good. And I'm not going to spoil the plot twist to that.
So
Well,
it's
what's the
good,
plot
not
point?
just good.
Tell me.
What's the premise?
The premise is.
Oh wait, no. Put Quiet Place up to very good. Sorry, I didn't know that was an option.
Okay, so the premise is that. Okay, so her husband went off to war. She's stuck in this big house, and her kids are starting to see. Her kids and herself are starting to see stuff like happen, like.
And then they grape her.
No,
What?
like a haunting. And I'm not going to tell the plot twist because that'll ruin the movie.
So good, very good.
I'd put very good.
Those are
Seems
two.
weird.
The others, and A Quiet Place. Those were the two I need to see. Well, a lot of these films have fucked up and weird premises like that. Wouldn't surprise me if that's actually what happened.
Line.
What is this? This is Sis or Sup Ria? Sus Ria? Sup? Have you seen this?
Spiria.
S-U-S.
It's Spiria, I think. Spiria.
That looks like a U.
Oh.
S-U. Have you
Never
seen
mind.
it?
I don't know.
Anyone?
Nope.
So what
I
about...
don't even know what the name
Oh,
is.
this is Suspiria.
Oh.
This was the one I was talking about.
Suspiria.
You haven't seen this either? Okay, so what about Mama?
I don't remember it. It's about feral children who worship this spirit they call Mama, or it's like a psychological imprintation representation.
Yeah,
of-
we were literally talking about. Did we see the parody version? Or did we
There was
see
a
the real
parody
movie?
version. I don't know. It was like one of those epic movie kind of things where, like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, dude. We got that was one of
those
the
fucking films.
Dude, it was so fun. Me and Danny got so fucking drunk and watched. I forget which one it was. We watched Epic Movie, or there's like 4 of them. Disaster Movie. That's another one.
No, I already seen that one. It was Epic Movies.
Yeah, dude.
Because you were like, you never seen that before, and then we watched him, and I was like, dear God.
So bad.
Really crucifying me right now.
Dude, do you think we'd get claimed if we did a copy or a fucking commentary on one of those? Because they are so bad, I would not mind just fucking laughing and talking shit over every second.
I want to see your next.
We can do it on Rumble because that's what we've been doing.
Dude, one of those would be actually really funny. Because Shab, have you ever seen any of those? Epic movie, disaster movie.
no.
It's like it's a shitty parody movie.
He has never seen nothing.
Dude,
Shut up.
That'd be so funny.
The Lighthouse, I'm going to put it masterpiece. That was a really good
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
I agree.
Beautiful.
It's really good. I
10
like
out
the
of
whole
10.
Prometheus kind of thing they do. It's really good.
I love Robert Pattinson. 10 out of 10.
Prometheus? Yeah, dude. You
11 out of 10.
you wouldn't get it, Shab. The seagulls eat his liver. You wouldn't understand.
How you watch Twilight? Obviously not, because you would literally
Insidious.
come everywhere.
What's a seagull?
A
I don't get it.
Steven Seagal?
I don't.
Insidious.
Oh, I know
Where'd you put
them.
That.
Again, shit.
Shit. Okay. What about what's this one? Hereditary.
I haven't seen it, but I heard good things about it.
Have you seen it, Dirt?
Dude, Danny's offended that Shab hasn't seen Twilight, obviously, or you just be coming everywhere.
That's not what I said. I said if you seen Twilight, you would just be coming everywhere from Robert Pattinson.
I saw one of the Twilight films, and it was one of the worst films I've ever seen in theaters.
Is that the really pale dude or the more Hispanic looking dude?
The really pale.
Oh my god!
Shark
The really
Shut
pale.
the fuck up, bro.
The really pale dude that you'd be coming all over the place for.
Dirt.
Coming all
Danny, have you
over.
seen Hereditary?
Yeah, it's really
Yes!
good. Put it up at very
10
good.
out of 10.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, masterpiece. If I could watch Hereditary,
Masterpiece.
if I could sell my soul right now, I would use it to make you two watch Hereditary right now instead of doing this
That was
stream.
such a good movie.
So yeah,
The ultimate-
Hereditary
I've
is
never
really good.
seen the last movie, but I've heard really good things about this
What's
movie.
this one? The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard of this one.
I've heard really good things about this movie, but I've never seen it.
Anybody seen this?
Nope.
Damn.
Haven't seen
We'll have to give it a shot one day because yeah, I've heard it's good too.
There we go. So I guess for commentaries, I haven't seen Quiet Place, The Others, Hereditary, and The Witch. Those films, I gotta get it.
Dude, those are like. So listen, I really wanted to watch horror movies in October with you motherfuckers, but I would love
But
to make
you're
you watch
bitches.
The Witch, and I would love to make you watch Hereditary and Midsummer.
Y'all
And
y'all
what's the
haven't
other-
watched Hereditary?
Dude, Hereditary is really good.
How are y'all gonna make this list and never watch Hereditary? That's disgusting.
Well, I'm glad we were here because, as far as I'm
I-
concerned, these motherfuckers are unqualified for.
I
horror
would like
movies.
to speak to your manager right now.
Who's
Well,
the
I know
manager
you
of this
guys are into
stream?
horror, so that's why I picked this list. But Mama, you said that would be a good, so bad it's good movie to do a commentary on.
No, we were talking about the fucking
We were saying-
parody movies like Epic Movie
Oh,
and
Hate
Disaster Movie.
Oh
We
my
were
god,
saying-
I hate those fucking films.
Dude,
so
wouldn't
much.
it be so fun to just make
No.
Shab watch that though?
Yeah,
We were
Shab
saying
would be
we really
cracking
couldn't
up.
tell the difference if we watched the real movie or the fucking parody. We don't know if we watched the real one or the fake one, is what we're trying to say.
Too much moonshine.
How about,
Neutron Stars. How about that one, Danny? You ready for
how
that?
about you haven't had enough moonshine, bitch?
Yeah, how about
Yeah,
that,
bitch.
So what do you want to do now? Viewer recommended segment or trivia segment?
I'm too drunk for Neutron Stars. Hit us with the viewer recommended content.
Where's Jimmy Neutron?
Who's this? Who recommended this one?
I don't know. Maybe
You don't know?
Biggs.
Oh, this
Jay
is
Trudeau.
fucking
Do North
crazy.
Koreans know about the outside world? The answer is no. 5 minutes in North Korea.
Dear
Well,
God.
Kim Jong Un knows about the outside world. Why do you got to generalize all North Koreans?
Yeah.
북한에서
Okay.
성장하면서 북한에서 삶이 북한 밖의 삶과 많이 틀리다.
Growing up, did you know your life in North Korea was different from the rest of the world?
라는 것을 알고
Well,
있었나요?
no shit, because you live in North Korea. Other people don't live in North Korea.
They don't know
It's not the exact same thing.
몰랐어요. 북한에서 이국의 들가에 피어난 꽃도 그 노래 제목이 뭐죠?
I know this song. I know that song.
Dude, they captured a filmmaker, Kim Jong. What was it? God, why am I forgetting his name? The one after Kim Il Sung and the one before Kim Jong Un. Kim Jong Il. He like captured a filmmaker, and there are these American defectors. Apparently, there's like 30 Americans that live in North Korea, and they made a movie called Unsung Heroes, and I haven't been able to find it. And if I could find a way to watch that movie, I really we should watch that for like a movie night.
좋아. 그 노래가 있는데, 그러니까 조선이 제일 좋다. 이국의 필갈 근꽃보다 내 나라 꽃이 제일 좋다. 그러니까 북한에서는 미국이 어떤 나라인지, 남조선이
Know anything about America, South Korea,
어떤 나라인지,
China.
중국이 어떤 나라인지를 몰랐죠. 그래서 북한이 제일 잘 나가고 있고 다른 나라 북한보다 더 못 살고 있구나 이렇게 생각하고 있어요.
That other countries where all the propaganda is pretty much like America is this evil, tyrannical, expansionist like nation, and we've turned the entire world into like some fallout, apocalyptic wasteland. And North Korea is the last bastion of hope. It's the last safe haven, and it's like the Kim Jong, like the ill family that's like keeping them all safe, keeping America.
Kim family.
What's that?
It'd be the Kim family.
Kim family.
Because they go by last names first. That's why there's Kim Jong.
They're so backwards.
북한도 못 사는 걸 알고 있지만 다른 나라는 북한보다 더 못 사는구나라고 생각을 했지. 북한이 다른 나라보다 꿀린다 이런 생각 해본 적이 없었던 것 같아요. 우리 핵도 있고 막.
We had nuclear weapons, and I remember watching what is it? Anchor woman Ri Chun-hee speak about our country.
방송에 나와서 막 그 리춘이 아나운서가 나와가지고 막 입술 막 이게 막 턱이 떨릴 정도로 막 외쳐대니까 이제 어떤 그거에 막 가마 감동이 돼서 이게 다른 나라랑 북한이 틀리고 북한이 이제 실제적으로 제일 못 살고 가난한 나라다라는 걸 몰랐던 것 같아요. 중국에 딱 넘어오는 순간 뭐야? 여긴 불이.
So they didn't know that they were poor. So that is one thing. If you look at a satellite image of the Korean Peninsula, you see like South Korea is all lit up, and North Korea there's just a little blip, which is Pyongyang, their capital.
안 가네. 그러니까 북한에서 불이 갈까봐 막 이랬는데 중국에서는 전기도 계속 오고 이러니까 그런 생각을 모으고 있었죠.
저는 북한에서의 삶이 북한 밖의 삶과 틀리다는 걸 의식은 못해도 어느 정도 알고 있었어요. 왜냐면 엄마가
I'm playing this at 1.5 speed and still seems pretty slow.
수시로 탈북을 원하셨고 애지만 사실 가장 영향을 많이 받는 게 엄마의 생각이잖아요. 그렇죠. 그리고 이모하고 삼촌이 분명히 있다 없다 없어졌어요. 그러니까
that's kind of they were talking about how their relatives would just disappear someday abruptly because they have that kind of like three generation policy. So a lot of times, like if you know somebody who's like one of your relatives that like does something illegal, then like your entire family will go to prison. So it's very common where people just disappear because somebody like a cousin or whatever commits a crime.
왜냐면 뭔가 더 좋은 게 있어서 갔구나라는 걸 그냥 의식하진 않았지만 어느 정도 알고 있었어요.
저도 그랬던 것 같아요. 저희 집이 이제 굉장히 이제 중국이랑 인접한 지역에 있었어요. 그래서 이제 그냥 이제 걸어가다가도 바로 중국이 다 보여요. 이렇게 학교도 보이고 걸어가는 사람들도 보이고 불도 이렇게 가로수길 다 켜져.
China currently they put a fence up on the border because they didn't like all the North Korean immigrants crossing the border coming to their country.
있는 게 보이고 그래서 이제 북한이 어려운 걸 너무 잘 알았고 저희가 살던 곳은 무역이 굉장히 활발했기 때문에 북한의 이런 어떤 공업품이나 이런 것들이 자체적으로 이제 생산이 안 되니까 이제 뭐 자원을 주고 이제 그런 거를.
Are they talking about like an underground market? That's one thing. They will like there have been people that have been caught with like iPods or cell phones and stuff that have like songs or content from other countries, and they'll like execute them in firing squads in front of entire like stage of people. But maybe that's like Western U.S. propaganda.
이렇게 교환을 하는 걸 저는 어릴 때부터 알고 있었거든요. 그래서 되게 북한이 못 살지만 뭐 어쩔 수 없잖아요. 우리가 뭐 이제 북한을 떠난다는 건 이제 거의 이제 죽어야 하는 거나 마찬가지고 하니까 어쩔 수가 없지만 확실히 이제 북한이 다른 나라들과 다르다는.
They have to be harsh and draconian and execute them if they try to leave because they need to help fight against the encroaching American threat because it is the last safe haven against America's apocalyptic wasteland that we've created.
건 알고 있었고 못 산다는 것도 알고 있었고 그래서 어쩌면 이제 좀 더 잘 살려고 좋은 곳으로 가려고 탈북을 하지 않았을까요?
저도 북한이 다른 나라에 비해서 많이 경제적으로 뒤처져 있는 나라라는 건 알고
Okay,
있어요.
I'm bored. Next vid.
They all look tired.
Damn. North Korean.
They were saying shit that I kind of like already know and everything. So
How Americans live today.
thought it would be more interesting. I'd get more insight.
This is how they think we live in the sweet goodness of America.
Oh,
Americans live today, drinking coffee made from
Look
snow
at this
and living
life
in
of
tents
decadence and destruction.
and
What am I
buying
looking
guns
at?
to
Is
kill
that
each other,
like a
especially
gun
children.
farm?
Some people complain about the guns.
Yeah, guns.
Living on the streets of modern-day America.
Yeah, that looks right. That happens in America.
They don't really make it look that desolate and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks about right. Right? You know, sleeping bags.
These trees are full of snow.
Lined up for warmth in the winter. Sounds about right. That's not a lie.
Trees are full of snow.
You'll see that there are no birds. They've been eaten by the people who live in these tents and
So the trees have no birds because all the birds have been eaten by all the people living in the tents.
I remember hearing
corridors.
about this.
This man awakes heroin. Their houses blow down very easily.
They
And
blow
have to live
down.
in tents like these.
You think like they don't even make like the setting and everything look that like terrible and like you think maybe they'd put a little bit more effort in their propaganda videos.
Okay, he just said something that their houses blow down so very easily, so they live in tents. Like that's better.
Well, that's the point. Is that America is so terrible and everything. They have to live in tents because of how poor their infrastructure is.
This man will show us his tent with pride. He points to his items, but the camera notices his roof has fallen down. This is common in modern-day America.
Now, the people they're showing look kind of like well-fed and stuff. Like, if you look at a lot of areas in North Korea, they're all famished, like, and everything. So, don't you think they'd want to get actors or find footage of, like, Americans who are, like, all disabled, decrepit, have dirt all over their face? They don't do a good job creating this, like, kind of dystopian kind of, like, setting that they're trying to depict.
The American Red Cross supplies curtains and walls from material from North Korea. Again, there are no birds in the trees apart from these, which will be eaten on Tuesday.
Which will be eaten on Tuesday.
They are yummy.
They are yummy.
I'd eat them.
You can also eat the snow, of which there is plenty in the United States. These people lie huddled together with their dead friends in blue body bags, drinking coffee cups full of local snow. They are very good friends.
Like all of the, like, there's so many countries where it's just shanty towns and it's just footage. So why don't they take footage of like slums in Bulgaria and stuff and be like, yeah, this is America. The footage they're showing, it looks like it's a backdrop of like New York or like LA and stuff. They're showing some pretty, like, I don't know, nice infrastructure and stuff for such a desolate country.
They are together in adversity.
Yeah, like
In other parts of America, often disguised as foreign countries in Europe, people live the same terrible life. This man, a former Republican candidate for Oregon, is now having to get coffee made of snow from these trucks.
Coffee made of snow from these trucks.
Many Americans have to live like this daily and are entitled to 1 cup most days. The weather is freezing, but the hot snow tastes nice. That man's taking blankets while they're looking. They are very grateful to their government.
Hot snow tastes
for these handouts.
real good.
Yummy.
Gene, would you eat hot snow?
No, I don't think there's a lot of nutrition in it.
It's just funny they call it hot snow. I didn't know snow can get hot.
In the major offices, factories and railway stations,
snow.
people sit around under expensive adverts of Dell computers, drinking snow from plastic cups.
Drinking snow. Dude. Hot snow is just water.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Instead of calling it water, they're drinking snow. They're eating
showing
snow.
This little shopping center right here. It's like, again, they're doing a really bad job making it look like
all these people look like they're doing good for people that are only surviving off of water.
People pass by,
birds,
not
Shab.
Yeah,
crack.
But they are all in the same situation.
Why didn't they include the crack epidemic?
What's that?
Why didn't they put the crack epidemic
They're
in this
fucking
propaganda
retarded?
piece? Yeah, dude, I'd at least thrown crack in there.
This is like so
By the
low
way,
effort.
most American citizens find themselves addicted to an addictive substance that ruins their brains and bodies and renders them unable to participate in normal society. Crack cocaine.
They should go to like I don't know, like slums and stuff in Cameroon and be like, yeah, this is America.
There is no one to call.
I would have at least included
Some
the
lucky
crack
people.
epidemic if I was a Korean propagandist.
Monrovia, what is it? Isn't that like the poorest city on like the planet? They should have gone there and be like, yeah, this is America.
Allowed beds and floors
Do you
indoors
think
like this.
would North Korea pay me if I made a better propaganda PSA?
If you
Do you
didn't,
think there's a
you'd
market for
disappear.
that?
I think I don't know. I think you'd be on a watch list. I don't know. He plays a lot of World of Tanks. Maybe you should be like, hey, Kim Jong-un, if you're there, like I could make some.
If you're there.
On World of Tanks. Hey, look, if Kim Jong-un is reading this right now, I really want to. I'm looking for a job.
Well, apparently he
Can I
loves
email
that
you
game
my-
and he plays it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, like
This is how-
based on his
Oh
like
my
activity
God.
on his computer, that's like his favorite video game.
Oh my god. He probably because he
Probably
probably
live.
pays all the it's paid. It's a pay to win game. Of course
Yeah.
he loves that fucking game. He probably has everything in it, dude. You think, dude? I bet fucking Kim Jong Un has every fucking thing.
It
in
wants to be
fucking
buried.
World of
But
Tanks.
the likelihood of playing with it, and he's probably playing with all his like rich like oligarchs and stuff.
Yeah, he's probably got a whole
in his
squad.
corner. Yeah, and it's like the chances of like playing with his little like clan probably I don't know, not that low.
Dude, we
Probably-
should just scour World of Tanks and try to. Dude, Kim Jong Un
Jong-un, are
would
you
shit
there?
on. He would shit on us in World of Tanks, dude.
See Kim Jong-un.
In modern day America, huddled together, the poor, the cold, the lonely.
Dude, watch like we actually find him and he gets on like webcam with us.
Dude, would you have Kim Jong Un on PPP, John?
Yes.
Of course you would.
No,
I would too. I would sit here and I would turn my camera on just to sit there and smile.
You'd see him come
For
on. He's
the
got his,
Kim
like,
Jong
Yo-boy
Un
face, and
episode
he's like,
and be like, I mean, how could you refuse? Anybody would have Kim Jong Un. Anybody would, right?
Recruit.
Next vid.
Why be an atheist? Why?
What is this? Sweet. Whoa. So I'll
Remember
give you
this,
this.
dude?
Hold up. Run it back. Danny's never seen this.
This is like the early days of EP.
Yep, Danny's never seen this. Danny doesn't know what she's in for. I'm turning the volume up for her for this one.
This guy's quite the lyricist.
Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist when there's freaking awesome faith? You could be deist. You could be Unitarian. You could be Quaker. You could be Taoist. You could be Buddhist. You could
be anything
Hindu.
but an atheist.
You could
It's
be
repetitive. And I'm being serious this time when I say that, chap.
pagan. Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist? Why be an atheist when there's freaking awesome faith? You could be something
Hindu.
better than an atheist.
What if this
So why
makes
be
me
an
off
atheist?
myself?
What if, yeah, how would you feel, John, if, you know, Danny lived her whole life without seeing this video, but what if this video is what sent her over the edge?
Danny, do you think this guy's mentally retarded?
He reminds me of Michael Sarah.
Michael Sarah. It's Michael Sarah, dude.
This guy, do you think this guy has some kind of developmental disorder?
This guy could be played by Michael Sarah.
Dude, Michael Sarah has something wrong with him. So yeah.
Michael
Bro, do you
Cera
think this
will-
guy's special needs?
Yes, and going off of the joke of him looking like Michael Sarah, Michael cerebral palsy.
Oh my god. Fuck, Crow.
You start seeing when Michael Sarah slapped me on his ass. And it was real.
It was real, John.
It was like that one movie. Fuck, I don't remember what it's called. It's like The End.
This is the end.
This is the end. That was a real slap. He went.
Oh, he slapped that ass.
She
dude.
went that, and
Oh,
they
you're fucking
kept
talking
it.
about.
You ain't never seen This Is the End, John?
Well,
It's a comedy movie about the rapture. We should watch that sometime.
What the hell? What the hell?
Why Our Society Has School Shooters by Theo Vaughn.
Okay, I
Oh
like
my
Theo
God.
Vaughn and I like his comedy, but sometimes his opinions are like a little too right leaning for me.
Yeah.
I'll
I
know you
mean,
send
well,
me
that's what happens when you're a good old country boy. So there's Sasquatch. I see some sort of bacteria monster and the crab from Moana, and they're gonna.
The OG school shooters.
So wait, is this after school or is this Theo Vaughn? What is Sasquatch, the OG school shooter?
I want to rub button.
How do you end up with people that do this type of thing? How do you end up with these, childhood shooters?
Childhood
Why
shooters.
are you consulting a comedian on
School shooters?
Adolescent psychology and developmental?
I mean, just look at him, John. He could have been one.
Oh, he reminds me in this drawing. Have you guys seen the one Land of the Lost?
No.
What?
I know. Hold up, pause. I know what he's talking about. It's the one with Will Ferrell. I have seen that one.
Yeah,
Chachi or whatever the fuck, Chachi.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he looks like Chachi from the fucking Will Ferrell Land of the Lost, dude. I see it.
I think a lot of it is, to me, a societal thing, and I'm not.
Well, he's going to explain why it is.
Why do they draw
Everybody
Theo Vaughn with a trench coat and an AK in front of a school?
That's supposed to be him, or
I
some
mean, it
other
looks
random-
like his hair. It literally looks the
I'm not
same.
everybody has their views. I'm not challenging your view here. This is just a space where I'm sharing what I think, and I could be wrong.
Whoa.
That's
Oh my god.
You hear that shit?
I thought my shots were dry. Now my butt is wet.
Come here, Scream.
Oh, her shorts. I'm not wearing my glasses.
What the fuck are you talking about?
My butt is wet?
Your
That's what
butt's
Missy
wet?
said.
Missy, your butt's wet?
You're
Missy,
so
I'm not
wet.
looking at the chat. You got me tripping. Like, why are you talking about your butt being wet? Like, damn.
The shorts are short.
The shorts are dripping, dude.
The shorts just be dripping.
I'm sorry, Danny. I'm sorry, Missy. We're drunk. You know, wait, was it Shab or
We're not
John
really-
that called Danny Missy earlier?
It was
I want to know.
Shabisky.
Shab, can you believe? I mean, Missy, can you believe that I just called you Shab and that Shab just called you or called Danny Missy? Isn't that fucked up?
Shabisky's a fucking dummy. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
How'd they
going
get all
on?
wet? Is that
Look,
time of
don't
month, Missy?
don't ask so many questions about Missy's wet butt. I gotta go grab another beer.
She mentioned her butt.
totally okay. But I feel, and I think
She like have a good shirt or something? Because you're all obviously obsessed with me. Well, not me. It's Shab's the one who had you like on his mind and everything. Shabisky, look. Shab. Missy's here. Dude, fuck Shab. He is the flakiest co-host on the fucking planet.
sometimes that people don't have purpose. You have a country where, it used to feel like if you worked at I'm going to go off on some different thoughts here. So if you worked at
So that's why we got school shootings, Dirt and Crow. People don't have purpose anymore.
like a business, then you had a lot of middle class businesses. You had
Shabisky.
Yeah, baby boo.
Missy's here. She says her butt's wet.
Well, like it clean, Gene. What the hell? Stop
so dirty,
sitting
Shab.
around.
a lot of smaller businesses, and if you work there,
Well, here, Shab, this comedian dude, he's going to tell us why we're having school shootings.
and if the company did well, you did well, and so you had a sense of purpose maybe through your work. You were going to move up the ladder, you were going to be a foreman, and then a manager, and then maybe have some percentage share, and then you were going to get to a place. And now it feels, I think, like we've let a lot of our companies get to these big conglomerates, and it's about the bottom line. A lot of companies are beholden to their shareholders, but not to their sharecroppers, if you will, to the people working within the company. So then what I'm saying is, as a person, you may not feel any.
Is he
people
talking
I
about
feel
like
you-
high school shootings or college shootings? Because this has nothing to do with high school or like even like middle school shootings.
Yeah, because kids don't have a purpose working for like a company and stuff.
people can get a sense of purpose from their work. So if you don't have that sense of purpose, then you can be pretty aimless, right? And then if you don't have love, like if somebody
See, this is just like with the Tim Pool shit we watched. It's like there's no logical connection between like the call it's called school shooters, and he's talking about finding purpose in your job. So it's like kids not finding purpose in their employment is why they're committing shootings.
doesn't love you, or you feel in love, or you don't love somebody. Like if you don't have a family or a husband or wife or children, then you may not feel
Yeah, people need to start having more kids.
like a lot of love, right? And so having love gives you a sense of purpose. And we have less families these days. The familial structure is really kind of broken down in America. You know, you have a lot of single parent homes, you have a lot of two parent.
Danny can't get over the fact this motherfucker reminds her of Negs, just the way he talks.
Oh God, bring that up to Shab.
Let me think about
I told
Don't
her.
get me started on
I
Negs.
said not to say it, okay?
It was too late. I already unmuted.
Yeah, shut up, Dirt. Take it back.
I'm sorry. I retract
So
my
right there, there's a
statement.
place where I feel like people used to get a lot of purpose. And now
I hear it
a lot.
now.
There's people that aren't getting purpose from their
Fuck
work. and
this
people,
guy for sounding like Nags.
Dude, he fucking sounds like Nick, and it makes me want
He's
to
like,
jump off a cliff.
People used to get purpose, and now he's like, yeah, but people don't get purpose now. He's going to explain why people don't get purpose today compared to people getting purpose in previous decades.
But they aren't getting purpose from their heart being
Missy.
fulfilled by someone else, or them being the
There's
piece that
more
fills someone
word
else's heart.
soup.
So right there, man, you have people who don't have a lot of purpose. And then there used to be a sense of America. We are this country. We are these people. We are united. We care about our neighbor.
John, would you prefer the word soup or the word salad?
Either or works. Pretty interchangeable terms.
But a lot of that is going by the wayside.
Okay, so what do you think about this, Shab? So we're not as patriotic as we used to be. We aren't as nationalistic. So that's why kids are committing school shootings.
He's doing a good job at showing us the link between those two things.
Well,
it's like,
just
it's like squirrels have been dying, and it's because PewDiePie. Yeah, PewDiePie is really popular, and that's why squirrels have been dying.
It's like, I think kids like nationalistic pride. It's like, how would that, like in previous decades, what, like a 12-year-old being like, yeah, so awesome, that's what like prevented that was the thing.
Yeah, the blind, like whatever of your fucking country, like we're the greatest country ever.
Flags now, Shab. That's why
Our political leaders have sold us out to the highest bidder. It doesn't feel anymore like your politicians or your leaders.
Justin Trudeau's not like, he's Canadian. He's not American. And Canada, they're not dealing with school shootings. Pretty much in the developed world, it's an American issue. So he's like showing this Canadian politician, and it's like, well, why isn't Canada having like school shootings all the fucking time?
Leaders have your best interest. It doesn't feel that way. And I'm not crying here. I'm trying to see, how do we get to somebody that does something like that? That's what I've been thinking about. Like, how do you get there? How do you get to somebody that does a shooting of a school? Because you got to get there somehow. And
is this who I think it is? Does he have long hair?
He has a mullet. He's been on Joe Rogan.
I've seen
He has
him.
his own
Oh
talk
my
show.
god. Okay, I finally figured out who he was. Yeah.
I think the reason why school shootings happen is, again, overcrowding of students in the schools. So you look at how many kids per classroom in like U.S. schools compared to other countries. And yeah, it's a very unnatural setting. It leads to a lot of conflict and drama with kids. And I think it's probably kids being bullied in that kind of setting, plus having easy access to firearms, which is what kids don't have easy access to in other countries.
Yeah, and bad.
So maybe it has something to do with that.
Yeah, and bad.
Keeps happening.
Like healthcare or whatever when it goes to these kids' mental
I
health
think
care.
most
Yeah.
countries have shitty mental health care.
Yeah, but if you're in a bad household where your dad beats you and stuff,
Yeah.
he's probably not. He's probably not like worried about trying to drive you to the psychologist or whatever the fuck, and pay them to they don't care about doing that and stuff. So I'd say it's that as well.
We also cram more kids into one school, which like we do it because it's kind of like the conservative thing to do. It's cheaper, and you see in other like countries, developed countries, where because there's less kids per teacher, kids are more likely to get the help that they need. And if a kid's going through some like emotional like kind of like episode or mental sort of like breakdown, then it's probably more likely to stand out.
So anyway, I think that a lot of this
And they're
purpose, if
more
you don't have
likely
a
to
purpose,
get the help
then you
or
are
want
at
to
the whim
admit
of
it and so forth.
Plus, America's kind of pro child abuse, and in the United States, it's like, if you sexually abuse kids, like burn them at the stake. But then if you beat the shit out of your kids, it's like, well, hey, like back in my day, we used to whip kids with belts, so hitting kids isn't that big of a crime.
whatever could come along. You're at the whim of whatever influence you get or whatever ideology that you can attach onto. And so no job, no love, no real sense of honor or connection to your country. And
so again, 12-year-old kids, what's the thing that's really pushing them over the edge is no job and just no patriotism.
then on top of that, if you find that you're the victim, if you start to say, well, I'm a victim, everybody else, I don't have any responsibility for myself. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Not only are you going to find any ideology that comes along, which the internet is going to give, the internet creates an algorithm that gives you whatever you.
That is like when it comes to school shootings, like that, when it comes to what all the red flags are, one of it is like feeling like society's done them wrong, like vengefulness and so forth. But a lot of that's because usually you have these kids that probably shouldn't be in that setting because a lot of them probably are special needs and they're probably bullied and treated like shit. So in a way, they probably are victims. And unfortunately, the way they go about like in a lot of times, like what Shab said, is they have probably abusive or negligent parents who don't give a shit. So they find access to a firearm and then they, unfortunately, they carry out these tragedies. But I don't think that's because they had the victim mentality because of like people not having this like nationalistic pride for like the US. I don't think it's because kids don't have a purpose with their job.
You keep looking at, you get more of. So if you look at pudding or something, you get all pudding, boy. And then 3 years from now, wondering why you too thick, you can't be in the military now. Because, buddy, you puddinged out.
So 12, 14-year-old kids are committing shootings because they're not.
Dude, Danny just fucking cracked up. She can't take this shit seriously at all. Once it's pudding boy, bro. Once we break it down to pudding boy, dude.
14-year-old kids used to be allowed to serve in the military. Now they aren't. So that's what's
now he's pudding boy, dude.
Yeah,
You chose pudding.
Pudding chose you. He chose pudding, dude.
It'll choose you back. So if you want to be someone who is, you want to get involved with us like a alt right or alt left, or you want to get involved with
yeah, because when nationalistic pride was
yeah, dude, on the right side you've got, I mean, look, this is pretty
look
good.
at the frog meme.
No, hold up, I really like this, honestly. This is a pretty good drawing right here, because on the far right you've got a burning cross, KKK, Nazi flag, and then on the far left it's Black Lives Matter, trans rights. But then if you get a little too far to the left, you got guns and nukes and pills. But just before you get a little too far left, you've got the pentagram, which is Satanism, and then anarchy. But then if you go a little too far past anarchy, you start thinking Black Lives Matter and trans rights matter. And then cancellation, that's what's next, dude. But what's crazier is even before Satanism and anarchy and Black Lives Matter and trans rights, you have flat Earth. Okay? The only thing separating you from fucking Satanism and trans rights and
Pepe
fucking
the Frog.
literally Pepe the Frog is the only thing keeping you from QAnon and the KKK and Nazism, dude.
All
I
he's
think
saying,
you're seeing patterns that aren't there.
all he's saying,
No,
is
dude, this is a really fucking impressive piece of art that I'm looking at right here. Honestly,
all he's saying is you look up things and it that stuff tends to come up more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that if I watched PewDiePie on YouTube, it's more likely to play PewDiePie
listen,
on
Missy,
YouTube.
stop. I believe firmly in trans rights. That's what I'm saying. Is like it's a horrible juxtaposition that these things are posed in the same like. Missy,
No,
do
it's
not.
because they're all put together right there.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
weren't
wait.
saying
I mean,
nothing
no,
crazy.
like I'm literally not saying anything like Missy's. Don't take that the wrong way.
Like you see how it's all
Missy?
on that side. Like that's what he was saying. It wasn't. Anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying is trans rights are put right up there with Satanism and anarchism. You know what I'm saying is like what Missy. That's no slight. That's no slight. I mean, I'm glad we could clear that up real quick, but that's no slight. I was just observing what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, and
Damn, Missy,
those
I
things.
thought you loved our streams. Why am I?
And
like,
then, but in all fairness, those things might be close or whatever, but I don't think that's the point he's trying to make. He's trying to make the obvious point that if you start watching
internet bad, internet new.
well, if you start watching cat videos on YouTube, you're more likely to have cat videos that come up recommended for you. It's like, oh, dude, thank you. It's like, no, duh. Like, and yeah, I guess if someone's looking up things that are helping feed their anger and their problematic social stuff, then that's true. It's going to feed it. But that goes for any kind of social media, really. Like, people point to
algorithms.
and people point to games and you could point to movies and stuff too. And those things do, at some point, help and like inspire people like that to do horrible things. That's true. But
Why are you being all verbally abusive, Missy? Yeah.
But it's
The
like it's
internet
an
is
obvious
an echo
thing.
chamber.
It's like
So,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Missy's claiming I'm all like boring and stuff.
Shooters are anti-Christian or anti. I'm just trying to think some severe ideology. You want to get, then the internet, the Twitter, whatever's going to keep serving you it. Next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole, and I think at that point, that's how you end up there. I think you end up in a place where I'm gonna be seen. I'm gonna make sure they know who I am. I'm gonna.
School shootings started to become fairly prominent with like Columbine, and that was before like social media or the internet as it is today was really a thing. So it's another really stupid connection.
Make sure that they say my name or they hear my name or they see me, and that's just that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's why the kids in the Columbine did it. It was Facebook and everything. Don't you agree, Crow?
No, back then it was rock music and metal music. What was it? 96, 92? Columbine?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I've just been having
I'm sorry, Missy. I'm trying to be less boring. Well, I am a little out of it tonight. So
a lot of thoughts about that. How do people end up there? How do people get to a place where they would do that sort of thing? Now, some people I think are just crazy, and those are
yeah, I'm a little high on like steroid tablets.
Taking them roids, Gene?
Crazy.
Well,
In
no.
compound with your Adderall, John, or are you STEMI and
I didn't take it tonight. Like the take them for migraines, and they do make you feel kind of
antsy.
Not antsy. They make you a little high.
I just want to say, sorry, John, before he continues. Yeah, Missy, I'm sorry if there was some misconception. Me and
Oh my fucking god!
are also drunk, and she just dropped a fucking can.
This is literally the third fucking time I dropped something. I'm literally going to bed.
She dropped it, and it just sprayed everywhere like it was a
And they are
fucking
literally
unopened
drinking
soda.
moonshine.
I'm
Y'all
gonna
gay.
fucking kill myself.
Don't do that.
don't do that. Kill dirt instead.
But how does someone who's just
Take
been,
it out on him.
Because next thing you know, you're on Twitter, you get an anti-religious thing.
you're looking at
I went to a
porn.
religious school. I also have trouble identifying in the world, maybe sexually. So And then your Twitter, your feed, your social media just keeps serving you more of that. Hey, you're right, you're right, you're right. And then, man, you're gassed up. So I think a lot of it is a sense of purpose. And some of those sense of purpose is like the American.
Yeah, it's a sense of purpose, Shab.
And when I can feel, I felt like when I was a child, it felt like, oh, we're part of this, you know? But it doesn't feel
The Columbine kids were part of the trench coat mafia. They had purpose
like
there.
that a lot anymore. But also, I got to recognize that I can still do things to try and make myself have a purpose. And you find purpose. And, you know, I'm fortunate that people love me, my family, you know, that I have a job. I have this podcast to come to. I have some sense of purpose for myself. And a lot of
So, like, the term purpose is such a vague and arbitrary, like, term. I think, like, most people have certain goals and ambitions. I mean, even if some people are more productive when it comes to achieving those goals, but
he's just telling obvious things. Like people that don't feel a sense of purpose, they feel less happy than people. Yeah. It's like, wow, is that how it works? Also, people who like they get, you know, dumped, they get depressed too. What? Please do go on. Tell us more.
Like, this isn't anything new. This has always been like a nodal, like Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, self-actualization. People always had a hard time achieving self-actualization.
How do you guys do too? I think we're kind of a purpose-filled group, or we're trying to find that. But I think that's something that I feel like that's for me. That's something I think that's part of that.
A bunch of like
Is that, man, when you don't have a purpose,
sophistry.
the dark arts they are at your door. They are waiting on the edge of your ear to come in and get your brain. And those include, like, you know, all the just the links, just the rabbit hole you can go down in to make you hate.
How come kids in other developed countries that are just as addicted to social media and the internet as kids in America aren't going on school shootings? How come school shootings were happening before social media was like as like pervasive and ubiquitous in society as it is now? There's so many. God, anybody that watches this and they're like, yeah, it's really deep, man. It's like that. That's a good test to show that, you know what, they shouldn't be allowed to vote or have kids.
Because, man, you find a rabbit hole, when you get halfway to the bottom of that bitch, there's a HOA meeting of just hateful owners association halfway through some of these rabbit holes. And it's just dangerous. So,
yeah. So I've never seen this guy's comedy, but I fucking hate him, and I hope I never hear from him again. And I'm actually kind of curious to see what the comments are. Never in a million years would I have expected, what is it, Theo Von material to be on an after-school special. Takes a village to raise a child. We lost the village. We lost the community. Love and purpose. Thank you for pointing that out, Theo.
Damn.
I fucking hate people.
Yeah, and this whole like sense of purpose when it comes to nationalism stuff, it sounds like we all think differently when we're a child, and things seem just nicer and stuff like that when you're a child. Like you can enjoy, like, I don't know, the world's a different place. And
I think most kids don't really give a shit about politics and global politics, and they really don't care about.
And even if you do, it's going to be a really big thing in your brain because you're a little kid. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll I don't know. I think that that he grew up and realized that the nationalistic like ideas was stupid.
Oh,
really? And he won't accept that he grew up and grew past that.
Also, I want to point out that, like, he was talking about people not, you know, finding their purpose and whatnot. Maybe we don't have a fucking purpose, and maybe some people know that and don't give a shit. We just live our lives. Like John said, we have goals, not a purpose, and we're okay with that.
I think
it's absurdism. The Albert Camus variation of existential nihilism. Live life in the moment. Everything's meaningless.
Drunken, are you drinking tonight? Have you been drinking this evening?
Yes, I have. I think I'm on my third one though.
Oh, Crow. Me and Danny are almost plumb the fuck out, which means you need to catch up, son. So, go ahead, crack another one.
At this
chug
point,
it down,
I'm
slurp it up.
pissed.
So, Danny has spilled several drinks this evening.
Are your pants wet, Danny?
Danny's not wearing pants and her legs are sticky.
Thanks.
Whoa, are you guys naked?
Well, if you were wearing pants, you can make Miss E feel included because her pants are wet.
Well,
yeah, you both are wet.
Missy,
What's
if
up
you
with
were
that?
just smart like Danny and weren't wearing pants, you wouldn't have wet pants. You'd
What are
have
you
sticky
wearing,
legs.
Danny?
I spilled Kraken, I spilled rum, and then I spilled moonshine, and then I spilled this fucking lemonade little spritzer drink, and it spewed everywhere.
She's got
I'm
a
pissed
seltzer
off.
lemonade, and it's pretty much 70% full. And when she dropped it, it sprayed all over like she had just cracked a soda she shook up. And it sprayed my legs too. Shab's raising his hand.
I
Shab,
heard.
Yeah,
I heard that from Ben Shapiro that girls being wet
Ew,
is
cancel.
icky. Girls being wet is icky.
You
That's
should leave the chat even mentioning Ben Shapiro.
You girls need to stop being. Yeah, don't get wet, girls. That's icky. Stop getting wet, girls.
I think we should all block Shabisky just
Wet
even
ass
mentioning Ben Shapiro right now.
That's
blocked.
it. Put her back in the closet, Dirt.
Oh my god, Dad.
Yeah, Danny, you're going back to being a secret gay.
Secret gay.
I love gays.
Damn, Dirt. You got some competition.
I have a girlfriend on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's playing Cyberpunk. She's been fucking this bitch right in front of me. I'm coming.
Dirt.
He watches
Dirt,
while
Danny,
I have a
TikTok,
girly friend.
bigot.
No. Do not force me to pay attention right now when Shabisky has headphones out of his ear and he's dancing with Jack. Don't take this out on me, John.
Jack
It was
Black.
your fault, not mine.
Jack
All right.
Black.
Wait, what?
All right.
What's fake news, young-minded?
Yeah, what's the fake news?
Every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet.
Fuck every white man, child, and woman alive on this planet. All you fuckers need to die. All you do.
Oh, dear Lord.
Damn, son.
Hold on, rewind it back.
Yeah, Shab.
Is he talking about me?
One more time.
Rewind it?
Wait,
Is he talking?
make it. This is a 1 minute video. Play at normal speed. Normal speed for Shabisky. So
Yeah, I need to see his
Anyway.
natural. No, normal.
That's
speed.
not normal speed. That's not normal speed, John.
natural.
You thought we wouldn't fucking notice?
All right. Here we
I
go.
really had enough of this whole life, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet. All of you motherfuckers need to. All of you do. We need to go for a global recessive genetic purge by any means necessary. Every last one of you white.
Like he's kind of full of hate.
Man, woman, and child on this planet need to.
So obviously there are races.
I'm with
out
the.
there
I
of
like him.
every-
I'm with him on this. I think we need to do this.
If he had a cool short mustache, I would like him better.
I'm for like equal opportunity.
If he was
genocide.
white, I'd like him better.
If he talked about like just persecuting all the races, I'd get behind it. But he's singling out one race to like persecute, so it's like, yeah, I don't know if I can get on board.
Color against every other color. But what bothers me and what concerns me about stuff like this is that this type of anti-white rhetoric, this is the type of activism that is actually promoted and encouraged by the modern day progressive left. You can't say this type of thing.
It is not. That is not encouraged.
No.
I think things like, okay, so like we played the what Nick Cannon thing earlier. I was gonna say I think part of why that what he was saying was a big issue is because if a white guy went on to his podcast and said the exact opposite about black people, it would be like huge cancel thing. It would destroy him. Nick Cannon, I think, got some shit for it, but it's not. It doesn't get treated the same by the public. That's an issue. But black people can just go say all of what he just said there, and people are just gonna, yeah, you're black, and I'm a leftist. Woo, yeah, kill all white. Yeah, no.
They avoid discussing it. They tap dance around it. So it's like the Young Turks. They just won't cover it, and but they don't promote it. And if it's presented to them, like they know damn well they'd get a lot of backlash if they did what she's saying, where they try to encourage this kind of behavior.
About black people, Asian people, you name it, anyone else but white people. And this is obviously going to breed more and more hatred. And we're at a point now where the amount of anti-white vitriol, it is getting to a point where we shouldn't be surprised when we have people, flat out calling for genocide against those of European ancestry. And my question is, where's the condemnation? Where is the outrage? Where is the hashtag stop white hatred? It's not going to happen.
This universe?
I think that you have a handful of like like bigots, like the guys she showed that say stupid stuff on TikTok, but I don't really think there's a lot of hate crimes that are like, I don't think a lot of white people are victims of hate crimes. I think that if you look up data on that, I think that a white person doesn't need to feel unsafe like walking to the store because a bunch of Asians or a bunch of black people are going to come out and beat the shit out of them. So like, I don't really think, I think you got a vocal minority that besides saying a bunch of stuff they shouldn't on social media, you don't really see it going beyond that. So once there is some notable movement of like, kill all the white people, then I'll give what she's saying some credence.
If it was the final action of all these creators in the past, the universe will not come into existence. Because there is someone else creating another god. Creating another god, the universe will not be created. So a spark. Because the universe is here, it seals the argument. There wasn't infinite number of creators or causations for our universe. Our causes for our universe has to be finite. At one point, there is a cause or a creator beyond which there is no other cause.
Oh, this is 1 hour. Okay, we're not watching this. Next bit.
Do you believe? Have you ever told a lie? Have you ever lied? Do you believe in God? You still? No. So pretty much you turned against God in rebellion because you love sin. No. Then why don't you believe in God? Well, but that's not God's fault that they're hypocrites. That's their fault. That's their fault. So, and sometimes we're judging. I don't know your situation for all. It could be that these people were total jerks, or it could be that.
The Bible's full of contradictions.
Name one.
Noah's Ark.
Huh?
Noah's Ark.
How's that? That's not a contradiction.
You can't find it.
Huh?
There's no history. There's no actual physical history of that.
Oh, he is right there. That isn't a contradiction.
Did you know that the Assyrian Empire was destroyed into like literal dust by the Romans? The Romans.
The Bible is full of fucking contradictions.
Yeah, it's not a.
Demolished cities that we know that were.
It's a like inconsistency or something, but not a.
Well, it's not an inconsistency. It's just it's
not
impractical.
Well, I mean,
historically, but we can't find.
He's just using the wrong words. My point. Okay.
Hold on.
Situation for all.
Whoever's fucking talking. Okay, so they're talking about Noah's Ark and whatnot, and then the interviewer's talking about actual history that has happened. Just because something has happened in history does not make whatever book that has documented that 100% accurate.
The Trojan horse.
Fault that they're hypocrites. That's their fault. That's their fault. So,
dude, this dude is dressed up just like Shabisky right now, drinking Diet Coke on the strip.
No, Shab's hat is white.
It could be that these people were total jerks.
I don't wear purple hats. That's gay.
Noah's Ark.
Huh?
Noah's Ark.
How's that? That's not a contradiction.
You can't find it.
Huh?
There's no history. There's no actual physical history of that.
Did you know that the Assyrian Empire was destroyed into like literal dust by the Romans? The Romans demolished cities that we know that were there historically, but we can't find.
How do I get an atheist to be?
That was literally, dude. This is Shabisky too. What?
Believe in God. In my opinion, an atheist is not an atheist because of his head, but he's an atheist because of his heart. Even if there was definitive proof of God's existence, atheists still wouldn't be Christian. Whoa. What a claim, Spencer. How can you
Well, what if the definitive proof is of a God that isn't a Christian God?
say that if God was right in front of an atheist, they wouldn't believe? In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve would walk with God. Obviously,
well, if whatever that entity is in front of me claiming to be God is, I'll believe it once they can show some evidence that they're God. So once they can snap their fingers and, I don't know, make a bunch of gold coins rain from me or something like that, they can show that they're omnipotent.
Yeah, that sounds about right. John would only turn Christian for a fucking pile of gold coins. John wouldn't turn Christian for anything other than wealth because John's a reprobate. He's a demon. He's here. He's fallen. He could never be Christian.
Sinner.
that is undeniable proof that God exists. Would you not agree? And Adam and Eve walked with God, and yet in their pride,
wait,
they
go
chose
back.
not to be
What's
with
an
God.
undeniable proof? Is it dirt or something?
And Adam and Eve walked with God.
No. Back it up more, you fucking retard. No, more.
That is undeniable proof.
You guys keep talking over it. Jesus Christ.
Of Eden, Adam and Eve would walk with God. Obviously, that is undeniable proof that God exists. Would you not agree?
No, it's not. Because anybody can make a story.
You need to let me
make up.
Thing.
What's that?
I don't know. You didn't back it up far enough to get the full context.
Atheists still wouldn't be Christian. Whoa, whoa. What a claim, Spencer. How can you say that if God was right in front of an atheist, they wouldn't believe? In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve would walk with God. Obviously, that is undeniable.
That
proof
was all.
God
Okay,
exists.
I was making sure
Yeah,
that was
dude. The Bible said they'd walk with God.
Yeah, that's undeniable proof. It's like, what?
Oh my god.
Wow. So what a logical person. See, this is what our school system not teaching like critical thinking early on and stuff. This is what it leads to. Dumb fuckers like this, like, the book says it's true, how can it not be true?
Therefore, the claim must be true.
The book says it, so that's undeniable proof. Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy.
What about the Greek and Roman and Egyptian religions? There's scriptures there that
those are not
describe,
real.
Like giant cyclopses and like 9-headed like sea creatures. So. Like, hey, like a bunch of people in an ancient society wrote down descriptions of like these mythical beings. So must be true because a bunch of people like wrote it down and documented it somewhere.
Also, how most holidays, actually all holidays, derive from pagan rituals, and any Christian, like Halloween, pagan, Christmas, pagan, Valentine's Day, pagan.
I mean, this is like a good analogy here would be like Bigfoot. It's like having no, I guess, empirical evidence, like video footage or actually capturing Bigfoot or something, but then you just have people that claim they saw Bigfoot. So that's indisputable evidence is a person's anecdotal claim and their anecdotal claim alone.
And yet in their pride, they chose not to be with God. I mean, look at the Israelites. Imagine being in Egypt when God brought those plagues. Imagine being at the Red Sea when it parted. That is undeniable proof that God existed. A pillar of fire.
If it actually happened, and there's no way to like prove that it happened.
Imagine seeing Spider-Man shoot across the walls or shoot across the buildings. That's undeniable proof of Spider-Man. That's basically what he's fucking saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same kind of logic.
It's
exactly.
not breaking news.
Dude, Hollywood actor Jamie Foxx being sued for sexual assault that occurred 8 years ago.
It's not breaking news. He's a freak.
You guys are
Well,
breaking.
proof that God existed. And what does it say about the nation of Israel? That they complained and they were unbelieving. If people with undeniable proof of God's existence, still some of them decided not to choose God, then I know that it's not about belief in God. It's about surrender to God.
As a Christian.
Yes, be subservient to an imaginary friend. Just get on your knees and pray every single day to an imaginary friend. Be subservient. Don't be your own fucking person.
That's how it works. People never make things up or fabricate stuff. I mean, you know, fictional content isn't a thing. Somebody writes something down on a piece of paper, therefore, truth.
Well, they have to put it in the book.
Well, John Morgan, you know what's crazy is that I've had a great time and I'm drunk and it's fine. And this has been a fine and wonderful 2 hours and 39 minutes. But I'm going to bed. Good night. Peace. I'm drunk.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you guys go fuck.
You can't tell me what to do. Fuck it. I'm going to stay around for another fucking 10 minutes, John. You can't even tell me what to do because I'm going to do it. Dang, no, don't do it.
Okay, thanks, Danny.
They're going to have butt sex. I could tell.
Let's hear what
Choose to answer.
Dark Side Phil has to say.
Probably going to be the most simplest one for you to answer, but what if you're wrong?
Well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong.
What if you're wrong about like a giant scorpion creature is going to come out from like the Mariana Trench and destroy all humanity if you don't like shove a pineapple up your anus every Tuesday?
About the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot. You happen to have been brought up, I would presume, in the Christian faith. You know what it's like not to believe in a particular faith because you're not a Muslim, you're not a Hindu. Why aren't you a Hindu? Because you happen to have been brought up in
Obviously, the faith I was born into is the right faith.
America, not in India. If you'd been brought up in India, you'd be a Hindu. If you were brought up in Denmark in the time of the Vikings, you'd be believing in Wotan and Thor. If you were brought up in classical Greece, you'd be believing in Zeus. If you were brought up in Central Africa, you'd be believing in the great Juju up the mountain. There's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God in which, by the sheerest accident, you happen to have been brought up and ask me the question, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great Juju at the bottom of the sea?
I liked. That was good. Yeah. It was mostly good because of the ending where he turned it on.
Because if you really
that was the
play it
best.
out, he'll see that he's absolutely wrong. Dawkins likes to think that his odds of getting to heaven are just as good as you or I, but he's absolutely wrong. He likes to point out the fact that if you weren't lucky enough to be born into a country with the proper religious teaching, then you're just doomed. But he must conveniently forget about people that convert in these nations all the time.
What?
Yeah, but
what about the people who don't convert?
The religion that they convert to. How do you
the
know
people,
that?
Yeah, and the people that convert are minorities. Like, stop it. That's a minority, the tiny little bit of the people. Most people don't. And regardless of them, why do they matter? Why more than the people that don't convert? The majority of people that stick to that religion and are in the wrong religion.
And what happened to the people that believed in their own gods way before Christianity or Judaism ever became a thing? Are they going to hell?
It's crazy
They weren't
how
converted.
It's crazy how some people's brains work, where there's no reason to make these logical connections. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it kind of showed that he missed the point of what Dawkins was saying.
Also, he conveniently forgets to point out that within those religions that disagree with Christianity, they don't always preclude Christians from salvation or the afterlife. Even Muslims.
Okay, but some do, but even, like, it still doesn't change the fact that based on what you're saying, if you're wrong, then, what about Hinduism? Because that's not connected with the Abrahamic faiths at all, and I'm pretty sure that's you don't worship their gods, you go to hell kind of religion. So that right there, it's it's still a dice roll. What if you're wrong? It's there's dozens of popular religions that people follow on the planet that have at least a few million people following them, and then the big four religion Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, and Buddhism, all of those have millions, even billions of people that follow those faiths. So it's just, in the end, how do you know that if you're converting to the right faith?
Muslims will agree that a Christian can find their way to their Muslim heaven if their God Allah finds that person worthy. Judaism does not teach that Christians are
Allah is
protected
just
from their
another
afterlife.
name for
Neither
God. Does he not know that Islam
Sure, he's
is
done his research.
Oh yeah, and he's
Buddhism?
probably
or Hinduism. So the 5 biggest and most prominent religions on the face of this planet all hold the possibility for a Christian to share in the afterlife with them. That means our odds are pretty good that we're going to make it to the kingdom of heaven.
But the thing, what if you're wrong, is doesn't automatically mean that if you're wrong, you'll go to hell. It's just, okay, if God's real, then, I mean, God would be a fucking prick if he's going to damn people to hell for not believing in him when he doesn't provide enough evidence. So I guess God wills it. God's a piece of shit then. I mean, and according to you, that particular God doesn't encourage people to think critically and apply skepticism. That God rewards people for just being a bunch of blind followers and believing what their parents spoon-fed them from when they were younger.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure in the Quran it says I don't know, I might be wrong here. I'm pretty sure people that don't follow the faith, it says to kill them. Does it not? It's just like the Bible says a bunch of horrible stuff. I'm pretty sure the Quran has that. And that's
they
why
allowed during the Islamic expansion, before the Crusades, they allowed Jews and Christians to continue practicing their faith because they their faiths included a lot of the same prophets as Islam. So that is something where I don't know exactly what the Quran's huge, so I haven't read it all, but I don't know exactly what the scriptures say, but they definitely do. They were accommodating to Christians and Jews. So I'd say that earlier Islam was more, I guess, secular or not secular, but it was more inclusive and accepting of other religions than a lot of Islamic states today.
Sure, but a lot of the people that follow Christianity, they don't actually follow it. They pick and choose what they follow. and it's the same with the Quran. As far this is my understanding,
whatever your heart wants it to mean.
The same with the Quran, and the Quran says things like kill people who don't follow our religion and stuff like that, and people who do kill people, like a lot of terrorists. As far as I thought that a lot of terrorists, they use that as like that's a big reason why they think what they're doing is justified, because in their book, God says you should do this.
Well, Muhammad was like a soldier. He's a warlord. So a lot of the faith is like, if you die fighting in battle, you'll wake up in heaven with 72 virgins. Now, I do think that the problem there is, like, if you're committing a terrorist attack to kill a bunch of people, are you fighting for the right kind of cause? So that's where you got that ambiguity there in the Quran, where it's like it does indeed.
My point is that he's saying you have a chance of going to your God even if you follow the wrong religion or something. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't say that in the faith.
Gods that like don't make their presence known, but they want people to be atheists and question things. And what if they're the real God? And then
that would be neat.
Atheists that go to heaven.
That would be neat if that was the real world.
That God isn't real.
The real God is real smart, and he sits up there just like picking out the smart guys. Like, yeah.
Also, I want to point out the Prophet Muhammad. Got married to a 9-year-old and didn't do anything until she was 12. Maybe he was nice. No, he was not.
How do you know that it's not like a clan of fifth dimensional like leprechauns that control everything? And they hate Christians because they can see everything everywhere all at once, because they're like fifth dimensional, like consciousness allows them to see through the multiverses. And when they look at Christians, they're like, oh my God, these Christians and Muslims are so fucking annoying. It's like, yeah, we can control who goes into the like the fifth dimensional plane, which is their version of heaven. But we're not going to accept these Christians and Muslims because they're fucking lame as fuck. And we think they're a bunch of dumb fucks and everything. So there you go. What if the higher beings, they just look at Christians and they're like, yeah, these guys are lame.
Has no such comfort. Now let me offer, as a Christian, I am resolute and steadfast in my belief that Jesus is the Son of God. He alone is our Savior, and through him and him.
Yeah, because you were spoon-fed that by your parents. I'm sure you'd find your way to Christianity if you grew up in India.
Yeah, of course you would.
And that's what's unique about Christianity. A Muslim that denounces God and accepts Allah will be denied the kingdom of heaven. A Jew that rejects Jesus will be denied. A Buddhist, a Hindu will be denied. Jesus says there's one way to the Father, and it's through him and him alone.
Well, then Jesus sounds like an asshole if he's gonna like damn people to hell for all eternity. Not jumping on the bandwagon?
Why would Jesus condemn Jews? Jesus was a Jew.
Well, he condemned Jews that didn't view him as the Son of God.
And also, I don't think do Jews believe in hell?
They
or do they have
believe
just
that,
like
I forget what it's
purgatory?
called, but it's purgatory. So it's not called that; it's called something else. But it's a place you go to where your soul gets cleansed. So good people go to heaven right away. Bad people go to some purgatory where their soul gets cleansed. Then they go to heaven.
So also the Holy
Dawkins, you sure about
Trinity is fucking stupid because it's the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. God impregnated a teenage girl who gave birth to her son, who's also his dad, who impregnated her, and then he's also a ghost.
Did he ask
or some
for
shit.
Mary's consent before he impregnated her?
She was married to Joseph.
Jeez, so God committed it. See, there's a contradiction. So it's like adultery is one of the like worst sins in Christianity. And there you go. You got God like endorsing adultery. Mary, she eloped with a God. See, there you go. Like God's a hypocritical piece of shit. He doesn't follow his own rules. I like how
Are you really
Shabisky
sure that
again.
your odds of making it to an afterlife are the same as mine? They're not. Not even close. Some atheists like to think they have a 50-50 chance. Well, there's either a God.
Most atheists think they have no chance because they don't believe in heaven.
What kind of
Or not.
shirt do you
No, no,
think
no.
he's wearing? Probably mixed cloth, right? That's in the Bible. You can't fucking do that.
Well, it's figurative.
It's not that simple. You have to pick the right God. So you have a lot of mathing to do to figure out what your actual percentage is. Now, a Christian,
A lot of mathing.
if we're wrong, but the Islam God is the right God, and I've lived a decent Christian life, there's still a good chance that I can make it to heaven. Like I said before, most of those other big religions, open up.
If you're gonna talk about like math, or just logic, calculating like what the odds are, I think you can look at human history and look at just the science behind like human psychology and so forth, and you can tell that these religions are man-made based on like just how the scriptures are written. It's like pretty evident that it's just a compilation of different like fairy tales written by dozens of different people in different time periods. So it's very like, it's not that cohesive and everything. And it's also pretty evident that people used religion to just fucking control people throughout history as a form of fucking propaganda. So it's like, I think you can use like, out of all the possibilities, which one is the most plausible? Plausibility versus possibility. I think it's more plausible that all these religions are just made up, so I'm going to enjoy the life that I have. While you spend all your time walking on eggshells for some hypothetical sky god, I'll actually live life in the moment and enjoy life before I pass away and cease to exist. And what if you're wrong and you spend all your time on this trivial pursuit, pleasing some fictional sky god?
The afterlife to me. You don't have that comfort or luxury. Putting statistics aside, Pascal's wager aside, we need to make sure that we have a fervent and sincere belief in Christ.
Oh yeah, let's just throw every argument aside and I'll just say some random ass shit that makes me feel like I'm smart.
Those that trust him as your savior, don't miss out. God bless. Richard Dawkins, you won't see this, but I do pray that you will find Christ as your Lord and Savior. He's not willing that anyone perish. And I pray that you find Christ also. God bless.
Yeah. You know what's annoying?
You're a fucking retard.
Yeah, I said this shit recently. I'm tired of stupid ass motherfuckers of like this talking like they have some sort of authority on the subject. It's supposed to be faith, but then motherfuckers are like this. I know God is this way, and you need to do this, and blah blah blah. And it's like, you don't know. That's why it's called faith. How about you be honest with yourself and the rest of the world? It's just
Since
lame.
Missy was and Danny were talking about getting their pants wet, it's like his pants get wet every night. When he wakes up, he notices they're wet. So it's God talking to him. So yes, God's real.
And to rebuke against his, let's just throw Pascal's wager aside. Now, I understand Pascal's wager, but there's also a rebuttal to Pascal's wager called Hitchens. What is it? Hitchens razor. Incredible claims require incredible facts, or what? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna claim something that's you can't explain,
big claims require big proof or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it right either. But
I've been fucking.
Gene,
drinking.
why aren't you quoting it?
Hitchens razor, John. You should know Hitchens.
You're not smart at all, Gene. God. Why did I even think you were
crashing
smart?
a little bit.
Yeah, good
No,
excuse,
extraordinary
Gene.
claims require extraordinary evidence.
There we go.
See, I got it, Shab.
Yeah, only after I helped you.
Yeah. Here, Shab, what do you know about neutron stars?
I know that they're called neutron stars.
What's a neutron?
A character
No.
from a cartoon. Oh.
Went down to 3 viewers.
Well, maybe you need to be more entertaining, Gene.
Lively.
More
energetic.
lively. Wake up, Gene.
Is a neutron bigger than an atom?
No, a neutron is one of the particles that makes up an atom.
Oh yeah, neutron and proton are part of atoms.
Yes, they make up the nucleus. So there's protons and neutrons. They make up the nucleus, and then the electrons have their different shells and orbitals, and they pretty much surround the nucleus, or they orbit the nucleus. So think of it like they're like satellites, and the nucleus is like a planet. And if the nucleus was the size of the Empire State Building, an electron would be the size of a tennis ball. And what are protons and neutrons made of, Crow?
You got this, Crow.
Stuff.
Things with stuff.
Quarks.
Wait, orcs?
And you got quarks. So you have your up, down, top, bottom, charmed, and strange quarks, and it's a combination of those three different, or of three of those 6 different types of quarks that make up either a proton or a neutron. Neutrons have a neutral charge, protons have a positive charge. And they're held together by the strong nuclear force, which is one of the 4 fundamental forces. You know what the other 3 fundamental forces are, Shab?
Fire, water, and air.
No.
What? I've watched that show you were talking about.
They're elements.
Oh. Space, time, and Drunken, you go.
Good attempt. There's the strong nuclear force, electromagnetism, the weak nuclear force, and gravity.
Oh, well, yeah. I knew that.
And that's gravity is the weakest of the 4 fundamental forces. But anyway, so do you know, so neutron stars, Shab, are the remnants of massive... Okay, don't fucking walk away when I'm giving a lesson.
What's
piece of shit?
Remnants of a No, shut up. I'm reading.
Yes.
Neutron
Okay,
stars are the remnants of massive stars that have undergone supernova explosions. So they're little pieces of a star. A neutron star is a piece of a big star.
Well, no, not exactly. But
just said
do
that.
You know what supernova is?
No, but I know what explosions are.
So the life cycle of a star. So it starts out, so you have depending on the mass, you have your larger stars, smaller stars. So like a gas giant or a larger star, it will they'll go supernova. Same thing with smaller stars as well, and they usually, or no, it's they go from their base form, then they become red giants, and then from there, if it's a larger star, it goes supernova, and then after it goes supernova, it either becomes a neutron star or a black hole, and then smaller stars will become like a white dwarf. So that's like the life cycle of stars. So
Hey, I seen a white dwarf one time. It was in Walmart.
My God, Crown, we're gonna have to cancel you. So they are incredibly dense, with masses comparable to that of our sun, picked into a sphere with a radius of only about 10 kilometers. So neutron stars are so black holes. They don't know what black holes are. So black holes might be matter, they might not be matter. Neutron stars, they know definitely that they're matter. So out of all the things that are classified as matter, they are the densest objects in the universe. So due to their high density, a teaspoon amount of neutron star material would weigh billions of tons on Earth.
I didn't I didn't understand that kind of thing was a thing. I didn't understand that such a small amount of stuff could weigh that much in reality.
Yeah. Well, did you know, so it's talking about density. So did you know that most of you is made up of empty space?
You trying to talk shit?
Is that an insult, John?
Yeah, you trying to say I don't have a brain?
Did you know that most matter is empty space? You know why?
Guys, there's a lot of air.
No, because atoms.
Oh, atoms have a lot of air.
Atoms are mostly air.
Are held together through electromagnetic radiation, or electromagnetism. So when you look, like I said, if a nucleus is the size of the Empire State Building, then a electron would be the size of a tennis ball. So everything's made up of atoms. So when atoms come together to form different chemicals, you have all the bonds, like the covalent ionic bonds with the electrons. So think of it like all that space surrounding the nucleus in between the electrons, because the electrons are orbiting around the nucleus. That's all empty space.
Shut up, Shabisky. It's air. It's air. Empty space is air, Shabisky. I learned it. Did
Here's the thing. Neutrons. So do you even know what atoms are, Shab?
They're the things that are with the things, and they link together.
John, you went from last time it was general knowledge, and you're now we're doing a college class.
What?
Yeah, Gene, get back to the fart jokes.
But here, so this is an atom. Got the electrons orbiting the nucleus. So essentially, you look within those particular orbitals or the so forth. Most of it's empty. So the atoms form bonds with other atoms where they exchange the electrons. So I guess the electrons kind of create this equilibrium. So because most of it is empty, it's less dense, and larger atoms tend to be, they have more nucleons, so they have larger nucleus, more protons, neutrons in the nucleus, so they're more dense.
Gene,
so yes,
if the star weighs so much with a teaspoon, how did we go about weighing it?
They use math and quantum computers.
So they took a tiny little bit of it that weighed like 1,000 pounds, and with a pair of tweezers, and then they weighed it.
They use a lot of really complicated equipment and things like hadron colliders and so forth.
I'm imagining tweezers and a regular thing that you just stand on to weigh yourself.
They use mathematical proofs.
Nah.
So
tweezers.
After a supernova explosion, the core of the star collapses under gravity's pull, causing protons and electrons to combine and form neutrons. So essentially, like you saw with that image of the atom, where you have the nucleus and the electrons, the gravitational force becomes so strong that all of the protons, electrons, so the atoms start to collide together. And when the electrons and the protons collide into one another, the negative and positive charge forms a neutral charge. So essentially, it just becomes a giant amalgamation of neutrons. So in a way, a neutron star is just like a giant celestial collection of neutrons.
John, why is the red supergiant orange?
I don't know, but didn't mean to get to that. Yes, so neutron stars are made up of I think 95% neutrons. So this collapse triggers a bounce, resulting in a powerful shockwave that expels the outer layers of the star. The remaining core collapses, further compacting into a neutron star. So pretty much, I believe it's the mass is if it has a radius of 10 to the 15 power, then or less, it becomes a neutron star. If it is greater than 10 to the 15 power, which what is it? I think that's a quadrillion, 10 to the 15 power. Then it becomes a black hole. So if it's not large enough, it becomes a white dwarf. If it's larger than that, it becomes a neutron star. If it's even larger than that, it becomes a black hole. So the density of a neutron star. So neutron stars are incredibly dense. Just a sugar cube size amount of neutron star material would weigh about 1 billion tons on Earth, roughly the weight of Mount Everest.
How do they go about measuring that, Gene?
Weighs more than everyone on Earth combined. I already told you. They use math.
But if it weighs the amount of Everest, just a sugar cube, how do they, like, it doesn't seem like they could sample a small enough amount without it weighing too much. How do they do this,
So,
Gene?
if they're able to calculate the weight and the mass of a neutron, and then they're able to calculate, okay, this celestial object has this many neutrons.
Oh, this is the whole neutron star itself when it's not all busted up, right?
We need more face palms in the
I'm paying attention, Gene. You need to learn something, Gene.
Compared to the moon's mass is about 1.2% of the Earth's mass. In contrast, a neutron star is vastly more massive than the moon, with a mass more than 300,000 times greater than that of the moon. Compared to Earth, what are you doing, Shab?
Nothing.
He's trying to do math, John.
Yeah, I was trying
do
to
math.
Yeah, I was doing math to figure out how much the Earth weighs or something.
So it says neutron stars are significantly more massive than Earth. The Earth mass is approximately 6 times 10, 20. God, this is not a good. They don't do a good job establishing whether they're. I think that these are supposed to be exponents. So 6 times 10 to the 24 power. I have to add the caret symbols. Kilograms, whereas a typical neutron star has a mass of about 2.8 times 10 to the 30 power, or 2.8 times 10 to the 30 power kilograms. I made some technical editorial mistakes here. This means a neutron star is roughly 460,000 times more massive than the Earth. So mass is pretty much just how much matter it's comprised of, but because it's so dense, that's the size of a neutron star compared to the Earth right there. Yet it is 460,000 times greater in mass or weight. What, you don't think that's interesting, Shab? See the image? That little white blip is a neutron star, and then on the right, that's the Earth. And it's 460,000 times greater in mass than the Earth. Because of how dense it is. Compared to Jupiter, Jupiter is the most massive planet in our solar system, but pales in comparison to a neutron star. A neutron star is around 300,000 times more massive than Jupiter. So compared to a white dwarf, so as we saw, smaller stars, at the end of their life cycle, they don't become black holes or neutron stars. They just become white dwarfs. So here it shows that a neutron star would be like 20 kilometers in terms of its radius. This would be like 10,000 kilometers in radius. So that's the size comparison. But white dwarfs, the remnants of medium-sized stars like our sun, have a mass limit of about 1.4 solar masses. The Andresker limit, don't know how to pronounce that.
Chandrasekhar.
Yes. Neutron stars are often close to this mass, but are much smaller in size due to their higher density. So, here's another scale. So, you can barely see the neutron star relative to the sun and the white dwarf. A neutron star's mass is typically about 1.4, 2 times the mass of the sun. However, it is concentrated in a sphere with a radius of only about 10 kilometers, 6 miles, making it vastly denser. So, 6 miles, that's like 2 hours of walking. So compared to black holes, neutron stars are less massive than stellar black holes, which typically have masses ranging from about 5 to several tens of solar masses. However, neutron stars are among the densest forms of matter, second only to black holes. So black holes, they don't know what they are yet, if they are matter or there's something else. So until they're able to definitively classify black holes, neutron stars take the record of the most dense form of matter. And in fact, Do you know what state of matter a black hole, or what state of matter a neutron star is?
Existing.
Shab, what are the different states of matter?
Existing and not existing.
Solid, liquid, air, and plasma.
Solid, liquid, gas, and plasma.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, and whatever.
Yes, well, those are the four main ones. There's a bunch of others, like supercondensed fluids and so forth. There's the Bohn's Einstein constant-date, which is known as the zero state of matter. But neutron stars are in their own category because of their properties. So they're not a solid, liquid, gas, or plasma. So they're classified as their own state of matter. And again, it's like just almost like a giant atom in a way, or a giant nucleus, a nucleus that's exclusively neutrons, no protons. Neutron stars are less massive than stellar black holes. We already read that. So, properties of neutron stars. Neutron stars have intense magnetic fields that can be 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. So apparently they're the most powerful magnets in the universe. So nothing compares to the magnetic pole of neutron stars. They also exhibit rapid rotation, with some neutron stars spinning hundreds of times per second. So essentially, like them going through one rotation is like the same speed or the same rate as like a blender. So imagine this giant celestial object, which is like 6 miles in diameter, is spinning like hundreds of times in a second. Their powerful magnetic fields are fast rotation. And fast rotation produce beams of electromagnetic radiation, making them detectable as pulsars. So you got pulsars and magmatars, and there's a few others, which are various different types of neutron stars. So
quasars.
I don't know if I think they're their own thing. They might be a type of neutron star. But do you know what the electromagnetic spectrum is, Shab?
Like autism for electricity. I don't know.
So visible light is in the middle of the electromagnetic spectrum, and radiation is a form of like electromagnetic radiation. So typically when you think of radiation, you think of like gamma rays, and the electromagnetic spectrum is measured in terms of wavelengths and frequencies. So radio waves have the largest wavelengths but the smallest frequencies out of all other forms of electromagnetic radiation. And then gamma rays, they have like the largest amount of like the largest frequencies, the smallest wavelengths. So that makes them pretty lethal. So pretty much what it is as the electrons are being exchanged through all the atoms, and they have each one has a photon that gets absorbed into the electron as it moves up different shells and orbitals, or as it moves back closer to the nucleus, it absorbs the photon. So a plasma, which is what a star is, and plasmas are pretty much the state of matter where light is generated, is where it gets to a particular like phase of like energy exchange where all of its atoms become ionized. So that's the difference between a gas and a plasma, is that it's got ionized particles. So it means that the energy is like pretty much it's heated to the point where all of its particles are exchanging electrons at such rapid rates that it's emitting photons. So unlike a gas or whatever where everything's contained, plasma, it's pretty much, and that's what visible light is from the sun. It's just a collection of photons being emitted from the sun's rays. So essentially that's what electromagnetic radiation is, and so forth. and that's how magnets work. So magnets, it's because that's why they attach to one another or attract one another, is because of all the electrons forming all the different bonds between the different substances in the magnet. So here, the surface of neutron stars have intense magnetic fields that can be a trillion times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. They also exhibit rapid rotation, with some neutron stars spinning hundreds of times per second. Their powerful magnetic fields are fast rotation, and fast rotation produce beams of electromagnetic radiation, making them accidentally posted the same thing twice.
What an idiot.
The core of neutron stars. So this is where things get really interesting. So the core is gravitational binding and relative effects. So gravitational binding, the core's immense gravity is what binds the neutron star together. The gravity is strong enough to significantly warp space-time, a phenomenon predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity. And what's the theory of relativity, Shab?
That things attract each other.
No, it's E equals MC.
Oh.
So the relativistic effects, the core's extreme gravity leads to significant relativistic effects, including time dilation. Clocks placed near a neutron star core would tick significantly slower than those farther away, as per general relativity. So this is one of the things that shows that time travel actually is legitimate and is possible. Time can be warped and dilated and isn't a constant. So
I thought you could only go forward and not backward.
Maybe there's a way to go backward, but for the most part, you're right. Like when it comes to what's feasible, we do know you can go forward. There's nothing that shows that people can travel backwards. But technically, like if you were living on the surface of a neutron star, which let's just say hypothetically, you don't die from living on the neutron star, you would be aging fast, or time would be going by much more quickly than somebody living on Earth. Yeah, you don't think that's interesting, Shab?
Yeah. I think that what changes the difference between time? How do you go about? What is it?
So when you're in space, time doesn't go the same as. So like, if they did an experiment with twins. One twin was an astronaut. One twin stayed on Earth. And technically, the twin that was in space was younger than the one that stayed on Earth.
Essentially, the faster you move, time slows down. So it's time dilation.
Yeah,
and
basically.
The way it works is it's fucking complicated, and you go to school and you learn like.
Do we have to move in a specific direction?
No, any direction.
Any direction. You
just have to be moving faster.
So if I get on my plane and I fly to somewhere, does that mean that I aged less?
At a very, 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 very like astronomically small level. So there have been studies where they've shown that on space stations that the atomic clocks are like what is it, 1/15th of a second like ahead of the atomic clocks on our planet. So that's like orbiting around the Earth, which is significantly pretty fast, and that's like less than a second. But damn, what are you focused on, Shab?
Some dummies asking a question in the chat.
Questions for John Morgan. If you fired a bullet forwards while already traveling at the same speed that the bullet would project, would it double the speed or not even leave the chamber? Pretty off topic kind of question.
Well, the main question is, Moby Large, are you firing into public?
What are you saying, Scotty?
I'm pretty sure that's who it is. And I think that's who it is. And they claim. I don't know if you heard this, Gene, but he was on my stream the other day in the chat, and I banned him. And I said, oh, next thing, he was saying stupid stuff, and I said, oh, next thing he's gonna say he can rap better than me, and he comes up on another account, he's like, yeah, I can actually rap better than you. It's like, oh, of course you can. I'm sure. And you could build bridges better than Jane, You could probably...
I get too off topic, though.
Yeah. Dumbass.
So, neutron degeneracy pressure. So, this is... So, the neutron star core is supported against further collapse by neutron degeneracy pressure, a quantum mechanical effect that arises from the Pauli exclusion principle, preventing neutrons from occupying the same quantum state. So one of the big theories when, so most of a neutron star is neutrons, but once you get to the surface, it's this gluon quark plasma. So they refer to it as quantum soup or even quantum spaghetti. So like I said, the quarks make up the protons and neutrons. So this is where they're known as free-range quarks, where it's not even protons or neutrons. It's just a bunch of quarks kind of bouncing around in this kind of equilibrium because things are so dense that they're not even able to form the those nuclear particles.
Gene.
Yes.
The question that they asked, though, I'm thinking about it, right? The gun thing, right? Mm-hmm. Here's what I think would happen. Okay, I think that if you were moving at the speed of what the bullet would move at, and then you fired, I think that the triggering
get struck with the bullet.
I think that the triggering mechanism wouldn't even be able to hit because I don't know, when you're in like a jet airplane, for instance, and that what's the term for that? Like the I don't know.
Force?
I don't know.
The G-force?
Yeah, whatever. I think the force of it moving that speed would keep it from being able to even trigger it. What do you think, Gene?
Well, the force is going towards you, so it would probably trigger it itself.
Well, it also depends on where you're. Let's say you're on a train going the same speed as a bullet. Are you firing in front of yourself, out the window, behind you?
Well, the idea is you're moving forward and you're aiming forward.
If you're in a vehicle and you'd get struck by the bullet.
I think that the triggering mechanism wouldn't be able to properly hit the back of the bullet because of all the force from it moving that quick.
Yeah, people on high altitude. Yes, they age slower, Bill Hicks. Okay, here, we're letting them distract us.
No, I'm a genius. Okay, go on.
Yeah, the core might host exotic phases of matter, and the outer core, the matter is primarily in the form of neutrons with some protons and electrons. And the inner core, there could be strange matter, a form of matter with strange quarks, or even a quark gluon plasma, where quarks are not confined into particles like protons and neutrons. So nuclear pasta, and these are literal names given to them. So these are like little chunks of like a neutron star. Of course, unique phases. So you have the spaghetti phase, long, thin, rod-like structures of nucleons. And a nucleon's a neutron, proton, and I think a meson. Was it lasagna phase? Flatter, sheet-like arrangements of nucleons. Was that Nachi phase? Blob-like clump formations resembling small balls of dough. And Swiss cheese phase. So they're pretty creative with these names. Where voids of bubbles from in the nuclear matter resembling cheese with holes. So neutron star magnetosphere. So the neutron star's magnetic field extends far into space, forming a magnetosphere. The magnetosphere interacts with the surrounding interstellar medium, generating a beautiful emission nebula called Plurions. Observing the magnetosphere or metaspheric activity helps us understand the dynamics and evolution of the neutron star. So this is one type of a neutron star. They're known as magnetars. So
Magnetards.
Yeah, magnetars possess the most intense magnetic fields known in the universe, up to 1,000 times stronger than the typical neutron star. These fields can be a quadrillion, 10 to the 15th power times more powerful than Earth's magnetic fields. The collapse of the star's core into a neutron star combined with rapid rotation can amplify its magnetic field to extreme levels. The strong magnetic fields of magnetars produce emissions primarily in X-rays and gamma ray wavelengths. So the intense magnetic field of magnetar can stress the star's crust to the point of cracking, causing starquakes. These starquakes can lead to giant flares that release enormous amounts of energy. So something where they have a difficult time classifying what neutron stars are. So like stars are plasma. So plasmas are kind of like they're more related to gases, right? Like in terms of their properties. Neutron stars, I'd say, are more related to solids in terms of it's more of a solid than a gas compared to like, so it almost like goes full circle and everything in terms of like its phases of matter. And it says like it primarily emits just X-rays and gamma rays. So that's significant because most stars, they emit visible rays or visible light, which is in the middle of the electromagnetic spectrum. So X-rays, so it's the mnemonic, I think, is rabbits mate in unusually extravagant gardens. So it's radio waves, like, what is it, infrared light, and then ultraviolet light, or
violent,
infrared light, visible light, ultraviolet light, and then usually X-rays and then gamma rays. So X-rays and gamma rays have the largest frequencies but the smallest wavelengths of any other form of electromagnetic radiation. So essentially, if you're near these, they'll be blasting your body with gamma ray, and you'll probably get some cancer. The intense magnetic field of magnetar. Okay, already read that. So pulsars. So this is the other most more notable type of neutron star. Pulsar is a highly magnetized rotating neutron star that emits beams of electromagnetic radiation out of its magnetic poles. Pulsars were first discovered in 1967 by Jocelyn Bell, Burnell, and Antony Hewish.
Antony?
Yes. The rapid rotation of pulsars leads to very precise intervals between pulses, making them some of the most accurate natural clocks in the universe. So with atomic clocks, they're usually based around cesium, so they're cesium clocks. So apparently, like a lot of new research is going into using pulsars as a type of timekeeping device, which for some reason, because of its properties, it's more accurate than the atomic clocks that we currently use. So pulsars also exhibit incredibly strong magnetic fields, up to 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. So binary neutron stars. So some neutron stars exist in binary systems orbiting another star or a fellow neutron star. These systems emit gravitational waves as the neutron star spiral closer to Earth to each other, eventually merging. The detection of gravitational waves from binary neutron star merges also opened up a new horizon in astrophysics. So there's also neutron stars that have planets orbiting around them, but apparently it's incredibly rare. They've only found like 2 neutron stars that actually have planets that like orbit around it without getting sucked into its gravitational pull. So the discovery of neutron stars, the first pulsar type of neutron star, was discovered in 1967 by Jocelyn Bell Burnell, and so we already said that, the observed irregular pulse radio waves, and initially thought it could be a sign of extraterrestrial intelligence. So I do think they originally classified it as the LGM, Little Green Men or something. So they did think that like it was extraterrestrial life communicating with like humans. So further research revealed that pulsars were actually rapidly rotating neutron stars emitting electromagnetic radiation along their magnetic axis. So essentially the like the electromagnetic signals they were getting, they thought that the different wavelengths and frequencies was like some kind of message that they were getting from aliens when they first encountered it, because of how alien these types of stars are. So neutron star cooling. Neutron stars cool over time, releasing thermal radiation. This cooling process depends on various factors such as presence of superfluids. And a superfluid's another state of matter that it isn't it's rapidly changing between the state of a gas and a liquid. So presence of superfluids and the neutron star's mass. Studying cooling rates provides insights into the neutron star's internal composition and the behavior of dense matter. So it's kind of odd because their surface, I know, is made up somewhat of iron, and it's completely solid. Then it's pretty much entirely neutrons, but then you get to the outer surface, which is made up of supercondensed fluids, and then you get into the inner, or the outer core, and then the inner core is, they discuss like the nuclear pasta. So it's got quite the weird composition. So equation of state, so it's kind of complicated. Neutron stars are governed by exotic physics, especially the behavior of matter under extreme conditions. I think scientists are just making shit up. It's stupid. Doesn't make sense at all. Scientists use the equation of state to understand how matter changes at these extreme pressures and densities. This equation describes the relationship between pressure, density, and other properties of the neutron star's interior. So, pretty complex equations. So, astrophysical significance. Neutron stars are invaluable cosmic laboratories to study extreme states of matter, gravity, and nuclear interactions. They also serve as a crucial celestial beacon for precise navigation in space missions. Understanding neutron stars helps us uncover the mysteries of cosmic explosions, stellar evolution, fundamental laws of nature. Yes. So, what do you think, Shab?
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
You didn't think this was interesting?
Some of it.
What did you think was the most interesting part?
Stuff that weighed a lot, even though it was a little bit. I didn't know that's a thing, Gene.
What, neutron stars?
I didn't. I've heard people talk about the difference between like size and mass. I guess I don't know. I didn't care enough to learn maybe in the past. I don't know. So I guess I learned that today.
Yeah.
What
did you learn about
mass,
atoms,
Gene? That they're made mostly of air. Okay.
Well, air is made up of atoms.
Shut up. Okay? I learned something. Stop disagreeing with that.
Well, most of space is empty, and even atoms, like, the space between the electrons and the nucleus makes up the majority of the atoms. So most of, matter, most substances on the planet are mostly made, comprised of empty space.
You should learn more about animals.
Okay, I can do some animal trivia next week. So,
I've
the
never
last...
even been to space, Gene. I don't know if you know that about me. I've never been there.
No. Well, the Earth's in space, and we're on Earth, so
Lies.
we're in space.
Lies.
That's semantics. But yeah, so we could do like next week some random animal trivia segment. So the week before we did alien hand syndrome, and yeah, so let's keep these going. Sure, people say they don't like all the war that we're doing.
The war.
Well, we're not doing the war. It's not just us three doing the war.
Warring against each
But
other.
anyway, people, I'm really starting to crash. So
What a bitch.
do people in the chat want us to go longer? Or did I make up for I missed stream last week? I'm gonna have to change the title again.
No,
At least
you
we
need.
got through 2/3 of what's in the title.
Well, John, you've kind of been slacking, so you should probably make things up for all of us fans.
Yeah, you bitch.
You gotta cover it's important. The hearts, the war, it's important. End the stream. Shad can play games. Oh, good. Gone.
Scooby likes when I play.
Do you think I was boring this stream, Skeppy? Missy said I was being boring.
You need to make more poop jokes, Gene, like me. I can teach you.
Well,
the ways of the
put a
biscuit.
timer for 10 minutes. They finish the goal will go longer.
Well, John, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Should we not, comment on that for like half an hour?
Well, I've already done streams on like
I
Native
know.
American genocide.
Yeah, but maybe
We already
someone
covered the
new.
Trail of Tears.
Yeah, maybe someone new hasn't gone and rewatched that episode. So
Poop and pee.
Chab, did you know that one of the largest terrorist attacks in American history was against Native Americans?
Prove it.
The Hillabee massacre. Gun squad went in and shot up the Hillabee tribe in
The Hillabee?
Hillabee.
Well, did you know that they didn't ask for it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, they
Or am
didn't
I
ask
joking?
for it.
Wait, they asked to be killed, Gene?
Well, you said they didn't ask for it, so that would be correct. They didn't ask to be genocided.
I meant to say it the other way.
Yeah, Shab.
Said it wrong. You know that my name is Gene?
Shab, tell me some facts about atoms.
The atoms are mostly comprised of
Besides
air,
that,
and air is mostly comprised of atoms. Therefore, life is air.
what are some different particles that make up atoms?
The spaghetti, okay?
No.
The spaghetti. That was part of it. I saw
Don't
that.
you want to learn, Shab? Don't you think it would be nice if you're ever talking to Landon? To be like, Landon, have you heard of neutron stars? And then you can converse with him.
I can educate him about stars a little
Yeah.
bit, Finally, he can learn a damn thing or two about stars. Can educate that man.
People in the chat, did you guys learn anything?
Did you learn anything, Scooby?
Everything got quiet again.
My name's Gene, and I got no peen. I'm Gene.
Oh, they said at this point I'm pretty much a special ed teacher.
Who did?
The Moby Large.
Scobby. You're scaby now.
Yeah. Moby, are you the same guy that says he can out-rap me, but you can't?
Bill Hicks says he already knew all this stuff.
Yeah, he's smart. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Big Pete.
Chad needs to be more knowledgeable, like Bill Hicks. You didn't learn anything, Jelly? You can't share any interesting facts about neutron stars with anybody now that you've watched my stream?
I don't think JLV is not American, so of course their educational system was way better than ours.
I think JLV is American.
Okay, well, maybe not.
He's American.
You're supposed to learn this stuff in grade 8. I don't know if they teach kids about quarks and stuff in grade. They teach kids about atoms in elementary school, middle school.
I had sex ed.
You know what, Gene?
Grade 8.
Gene, test them on it then. Ask them questions about what you just taught. Because I bet JLV, if you start asking him about spaghetti or something, his ass isn't going to be able to say nothing.
Well, they're the one that said they didn't learn anything.
That's what I'm saying. If they didn't... Well, are they saying that... I thought that they were saying that they already knew this stuff, and that's why they didn't learn anything.
No, what JLV is saying is that they knew about spaghetti to begin with.
You knew about spaghetti?
Were you taught about electromagnetic radiation in middle school, Skeppy?
Man, Skippy don't know shit about radiation.
I learned more watching the History Channel. If you guys know it was aliens, what did everything and not the kinda that's brown, the gray ones? And,
Zach's on crack.
yeah.
Dude, Scotty, I would love to watch a clip of you trying to out-rap me so I can point and laugh.
Got under your skin, Shab.
No, it's what it is. It's like anybody. The thing is it's just like fucking Origin being like, I can out-rap Hobson. Oh, I could do way better than him on this song, and then it's like he never comes out with the thing. He claims he can do it, but it never gets proven. And why I'm fucking with Scotty with that is because you know what,
he knows he would outperform you.
Yeah, he doesn't have to prove it. Yeah, he doesn't actually have to prove it in any way or shape or form. I can juggle 10 fucking chainsaws while doing backflips on a bicycle, all at the same time.
JLV says they came to class late.
That's why. Okay. You don't know that, Skabibi. You don't know what radiation is.
Well, you went to Canada.
Yeah, that's not real school.
Oh, Scotty would only do it live on Discord.
Oh, gosh. Of course. Only if I'll breen your stupid ass on my stream, which I won't, you'll do it. Of course. Because you're a talentless hack. You barely have a brain, let alone fucking talent. You aren't even able to
triggered much.
You aren't even able to you aren't even able to watch a simple movie where someone sits down at a table, gets some food, and gets wine poured for them without going, dude, is that gasoline or what? What is in that glass? I wonder, Scotty, what could they be pouring out of that bottle of that wine bottle into the wine glass? What could that liquid be? Oh, if only I was smart enough to figure this out. Right, Scotty? You fucking genius. You talented motherfucker. only do it live, because you can't do it, because you're going to come on and be stupid. You don't know how to fucking rap. You can rap if your life depended on it, dork.
Shab.
Sorry, sometimes the truth hurts.
Cantankerous thing.
He has the IQ of like a fucking pigeon that got ran over.
Wow.
And,
Are you a
and,
neckbeard now talking about IQ?
and as I digress. Yeah, you know, if you if you act like you're smart enough, people might actually believe you. Yeah. If you try hard enough to trick people into thinking you're smart, like Spec or something, you might actually trick some people, huh? Look at you.
I'd rather deal with Spec than Scotty.
Well, yeah,
and that's fucking saying something.
At least Spec doesn't shoot
we
out
all
front
do
of their
that,
door.
Zach.
Scotty is this loser that I kicked out of the community am I wrong to say 3 years ago now?
I've been around for 3 years.
So Zach wants us to do lore videos. So are we, like I said, we need to do the Shab, the Pedantic Dink sort of wiki where we go through like all the crazies, and it's like we have an article on like Raw Feast, an article on Scotty.
We got to do that on Rumble.
An article on Tragic. What's that?
We should probably do that on Rumble then.
Maybe.
Well, we need a wiki, so it wouldn't be on But yeah, we can give like Kino and Spec their own page.
Oh, we're doing an actual wiki. I thought you were just like going through every one of the.
Well, Zach says they're out of the loop, so we should do like Shab, like Pedantic Dink sort of fam wiki. So like we go through all the timelines and history.
Yeah, but Zach, somewhere around 2 to 3 years ago, I kicked that person out of the community, told him to fucking get lost. Don't want him back. He still continues to come back all the time, even though he's unwanted. Even though, like, right now, all the shit that you heard me talk about him, he'll be back tomorrow. You would not, like, he's not a normal person. Like I said before, like a normal person, if
Anyone normal, Shab?
If I sat here and, like, just called Zach just the worst things ever and stuff, Zach would not want to come back to the PPP, and that's logical. But Scotty, I'll just I'll just talk all the shit in the world to him, and he's just like, yeah, he'll just get mad and act like he did nothing wrong and come back tomorrow.
What if he's a masochist and he likes being verbally abused? You're giving him what he wants, so you should probably start complimenting him, and then maybe he'll leave you alone.
Yeah, as soon as I start complimenting him, I'll be like, fuck this. So the timer went off, and we never hit the goal. And I'm not happy.
You guys don't love us. Zach says, like, we should rip on them. They should be some of our locales. Well, some of them, like, unfortunately, most of them don't produce videos. It would be awesome if, like, people like Spec made videos that we could comment on. That would be entertaining. But Dark Master, he's our locale that produces content that we can rip on.
Yeah, and he makes awesome documentaries.
But yeah, we'll be here this Saturday, and then I think maybe we'll try to do another patron stream, movie commentary stream. And I'm gonna try to like do Baldur's Gate with dirt and everything, but I gotta get to bed. It's been a low energy Gene stream.
All right, peace out.